Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is over and over and over again. This is Matchday Live. It is, of course, Carabao Cup. Last 16, it is Arsenal versus West Ham from the London Stadium. We are going to bring you the best of the action coming up the other side of this. So it is West Ham versus Arsenal, Carabao Cup, 4th round. And this is, I think it's an important game. I think it's a competition that we need to take seriously and try and go as far as we can. So we've got your team news in tonight. And as expected, there are quite a few changes. So this is our Arsenal lineup. And in goal, Aaron Ramsdale comes back in. The back four, Ben White, Jacob Kiwior, Gabriel and Alexander Zinchenko. 3 left-footed players in the back four. Wow. Have we ever done that before? I'm not sure. In midfield, it's Jorginho, Kai Havertz and Fabio Vieira. Jorginho is the captain tonight. And the front three, Reece Nelson, Leandro Trossard, and our either side of hat-trick hero from Saturday, Eddie Nketiah. Now on the bench then for Arsenal, goalkeeper Carl Hine. We've got Cedric Suarez, Takehiro Tomiyasu, William Saliba, Declan Rice is on the bench tonight. Former West Ham captain, of course. Mohamed El Neni, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, and Gabriel Martinelli. Now, West Ham have gone, I think, with a stronger team in terms of their first choice players. So in goal for them, it is, of course, our old goalkeeper. We know him very well, Lucas Fabianski. They're back for Vladimir Kufal, Kostas Mavropanos, of course, another ex-Arsenal player. He looked promising, didn't he, when he first came to Arsenal? They've got Nayef Agued and also Emerson. And then in midfield, they've got Edson Alvarez, Thomas Souček, and Mohamed Kudus. And in their front three, Lucas Paqueta, Jared Bowen, and Said Benrahma. On the bench then for them is the goalkeeper, Alphonse Areola, Aaron Cresswell, James Ward-Prowse, Paolo Fornals, Mikel Antonio, Maxwell Cornet, Danny Ings, Angelo Agbona, and the other goalkeeper, Cora. So that is your team lineups. And what we make of that Arsenal team, by the way, the midfield looks a little bit suspect to me. Jorginho, Havertz, and Vieira, a little bit lightweight. I'm not sure about that. You know, they've got Souček in there who gets stuck in. Paqueta as well. He's a very good player. I think that's where this game may well be won and lost. But we have got quality on the bench, as indeed of West Ham. I think both teams in this game have looked at this and thought, you know what, it's an opportunity to go through, but without taking all the risk. Bearing in mind, both of these two teams are in Europe, of course, this season. So that is obviously the priority, I suppose, at this point in the season, isn't it? Getting all those group games played and what have you. And that's why there's been so many changes again. I mean, Arsenal, it's a similar team that beat Brentford in the last round. This is going to be a bigger test, isn't it? Because West Ham are a better team, I think, than Brentford. Got better players anyway, certainly. We've got Nathan in the chat. How you doing, Nathan? Good to see you. He says, evening, Rich, everyone in the chat. You're going for 2-1 to Arsenal. Okay, that'll be good. We'll settle for that, won't we? Nick Knack says, hi, Rich, in the chat. Nick Knack says, one of those competitions where if you win it, great. If not, who cares? Well, you see, I don't think we can take any competition lightly. We haven't won anything for 4 seasons now, or it will be 4 seasons this year. And I think we need to win something. Are we going to win the Premier League? I'm not too sure. Man City are much stronger than us. Are we going to win the Champions League? We've not been in it all this time. Probably not. So that realistically only leaves the FA Cup and this cup. So, you know, let's try and win them both. That's what I say. At least we've got a trophy on the sideboard. If it's this one, it's good. We haven't won this for 30 years. We need to win it again, don't we? So, no, I do care. And I want to win it. I want to win everything, but I certainly want to win this. And I think Arteta needs to win a trophy, and he can't dismiss. We as fans can't dismiss this because it doesn't matter as much. It's a trophy, and we need to win one. Nick Nat says, pretty strong lineup from West Ham, because that's what I think it is as well. Yeah, because again with West Ham, you see, they won a trophy last year, didn't they? In Europe, they want to win another one. You know, you get that winning feeling, don't you? And you're like, you know what? I like winning trophies. It's quite nice. So let's try and do it again. And I think that's what the plan is for West Ham. You know. With Man City out, you look at the teams left in it as well. There's other Premier League teams out. You look at what's left in it. You think to yourself, you know what? This is an opportunity, isn't it, to win a trophy? And we can't take that lightly. West Ham certainly can't take that lightly. So yeah, let's go for it. Nathan says Ramsdale back only for this one game. You know, that's all it's for, isn't it? It's just this one game. He's not number one anymore, and rightly so. And I'm sure he'll do all right tonight. Nick Nack says it's all about progress, keep improving, and you'll be in a position to win things. Well, you know, it is about progress, yeah, but this is going to be what Mikel Arteta's 5th season, and all he won is an FA Cup right at the beginning with Unai Emery's players, and now we spent loads and loads of money on his team, his players. He needs to win something with them. There's no more excuses. No more saying, well, you know, let's keep improving. Well, we've had 4 years to improve, 5 years to improve, and we have improved. But just improving isn't enough now. We need to go on a little bit further and go on and win a trophy or two. And this is a good opportunity to do that this season, I think. You know, we've certainly got a strong enough squad. I don't like to see all the changes in one go, because what it means is that you've got players in relationships are important in the team, aren't they? Especially in defence. And we're playing a defence that hasn't played together before. And I think that's risky. In a game like this, it's risky to, and you know, midfield as well. We've got a midfield. I don't think this 3 in midfield have played together before either. So again, it's a difficult one, isn't it? You need to rotate your squad, but maybe what we need to do is rotate it more gradually. You know, 1 or 2 in certain Premier League games. You know, 1 or 2 in the cup games, 1 or 2 in the Champions League, with different ones. So everybody's getting minutes on the pitch, and then when players have to come in, they're not rusty as such because they've played minutes, haven't they, before? And I think that's the way to do it sensibly. It's no good making 10 changes to your team for one game and then changing back again in the next game, because those players haven't had the relationships on the pitch, have they? Yes, they work together in training and all that kind of stuff. It's not the same. It's competitive football in a competitive environment in a first team game, is it, in a proper match? So I do think that's something that Arteta hasn't managed to get right much, has he, in his time here? He hasn't managed to get that balance right. He makes no changes hardly ever in the Premier League, and then he makes loads of changes in the cup games. I wonder why sometimes our performances aren't as good in the cup games, because those players aren't used to playing together. But anyway, let's see what happens tonight. I mean, all these players in this Arsenal starting 11 have all played plenty of games in the first team, haven't they, in the Premier League? They've all got experience of that, so there's no excuses. West Ham as well. I suppose they've got a pretty strong team, so it should be a good game, this, actually. There has been some games already in this competition. Of course, Middlesbrough beat Exeter last night. Port Vale beat Mansfield as well. And there's a lot of games tonight, isn't it? Bournemouth v Liverpool, Chelsea, Blackburn, Everton, Burnley, Ipswich, Fulham, Manchester United, Newcastle, of course, kicks off at 8:15. And this game, West Ham versus Arsenal. So you can see there from some of them names that we've mentioned there, some of the teams still in it. Yes, a lot of those smaller teams will probably go out tonight, but you never know. But looking at the draw, I'm really excited for this competition. The quarterfinal draw is at 10:15 tonight, which is after the Newcastle game, which will be good, won't it? The teams are in the tunnel. Just going to about come out. Nick Nack says there, the team selection says to me, this is not a priority for Arteta. No, it probably isn't, but it needs to be, because does he realistically think he can win the Premier League or the Champions League this season? Because if he does, I think he's deluded. I'm not saying we've got no chance. We've got a chance, but it's quite a small chance. When you look at Manchester City, not only Manchester City, you've got other teams in fighting for that Premier League this season. Liverpool, that have done it before. They've got that experience of winning it, and we haven't. And I don't know. I don't think our chances of winning the Premier League are that great. I don't think we've got any chance at all of winning the Champions League in our first season back. I think that's unrealistic. So it should be more important to Arteta. But I agree. The team selection says it isn't. But I mean, it should be. Nathan says, I've watched West Ham a few times this season. They will look to absorb the pressure and hit on the break. Yeah, I guess that's what they will try and do. They've got pace in their team, haven't they? Jared Bowen is a great player, by the way. He's one we're going to have to watch, isn't he? Because he's really, really good. Terry says, good evening, Richard, Nathan, Nick Nack, and not sure about our lineup. If we go out tonight, let's hope this is the end of Arteta. I'm fed up of not winning anything, and this is probably our best chance of a trophy. Well, it's certainly... I think it's one of our 2 chances of a trophy, the FA Cup being the other one. I don't think we can win the other 2 personally. I don't think we can. I'm not saying we've got no chance. As I said before, I think we could potentially. I just don't believe we will at this point. I don't think this team and this squad, this manager is ready to make that step to win one of those 2 big trophies. If we're going to win anything, it's going to be one of the 2 domestic cups or both. I think we should really try and go for it and try and win this competition. That's what I think personally. Nathan says he has to win something. The time he's been at the club, the money spent, there are no excuses. Exactly, mate. That's exactly the point. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. There is no excuses anymore. He's got to win something. And if he's that arrogant that he thinks, oh, I can dismiss the Carabao Cup and try and win one of the other three, then he's deluded, isn't he? You can't do that. We have to try and win stay in every single competition as long as we can. Because if we're still in this competition after Christmas, if we go out the FA Cup early because we get Man City away or we suffer a shock, at least we've got this competition still as backup, haven't we? And that's so important. And we need to get through this round. And I think the next round is the one. I think it's before Christmas, isn't it? So we need to get through these next two to keep things ticking over. I really believe that. But anyway, we'll see what happens. It's a strong enough team to win this game, let's be honest. Twillenber says, hi and evening to everyone in the chat. And yourself, mate, hope you're doing well. Terry says, Richard, I'd just like to say, loving your other channel. Not my type of music, but what a trip down memory lane it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm just picking some albums. Just in case you don't know, I've got another channel. It's called A Bit Rich. It's on YouTube. It's quite a new channel. It's just stuff that I do away from the Arsenal things. It's just vlogs of the stuff that I get up to running, and I've got some grassroots football stuff on there, and obviously I'm doing some stuff on some albums that kind of influenced me when I was growing up, really. And I did one today on Yazoo, upstairs at Eric's. If you like that album, go and check that video out. The channel's A Bit Rich. I'm trying to get the subscribers up, so if you subscribe to this channel, just go and subscribe to that one, because it's got some good stuff on there. There'll be something on there that you'll enjoy. Probably stuff on there you won't enjoy, that's fine as well. Probably the same with this channel, really, isn't it? Nathan says Kudos is also a very good player. Yeah, I've seen bits of him. He does look good. He does look good, a good player. We're going to have to watch him tonight. And I'll say Jared Bowen is a player that I really, really like. By the way, Arsenal wearing a horrible luminous yellow kit, which is just horrible. And that's it. West Ham are in their traditional claret and blue, which, of course, we know is a familiar colour, isn't it, for West Ham, as we know. And we are just about to get going in this, I believe, really big Carabao Cup game. I say a win here tonight and put us into the quarter-final. And that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. And then we'll see where we go from there. It's going to be West Ham 2 kick-off. It's going to be Paqueta, who is going to take centre for West Ham in this game. They are going to be attacking the goal to our right. So that's the end where the away fans are behind that goal that West Ham will be attacking in this first half. We're just about to get off and underway here in the London Stadium, of course, the old Olympic Stadium, and we are off and underway. West Ham are in control at the early stages, boot the ball forward, and it's a header by by Kai Havertz. That's a good defensive header, wasn't it? By Kai Havertz, and that's one thing he's good at. Tony's in the chat here, my friend. He says, you sound like you're moaning. You're saying we can't spend big. We have to win everything for the next 10 years. No, I mean, we need to, with the money that we spent now, we need to be winning something, don't we? It's no good keep getting close, second place, and this, that, and the other. That's all fair enough. But I think we need to start winning a trophy. And winning one trophy does tend to lead to others. And if we look at all the successful teams, they win one of the smaller trophies often first. Jose Mourinho, when he first came to England, won the League Cup, went on to have the success he had. Pep's first trophy was the League Cup as well. So I think it's an important stepping stone, isn't it, to win that. And then everyone gets belief that you can win trophies, and that's how it builds. And I'm not saying we should win something every year. Hopefully we can, but Arsenal have never traditionally done that. I just want to see us compete, and we need to add trophies as well along the way, don't we? Every couple of years or so, at least we have to win something, don't we? A cup or something like that. Even if it's a League Cup, do that. Fine, I'm happy with that. Offo says, "Evening, our midfield is weak." Yes, it is weak. Physically, it's weak. I think you're right, but don't forget Zinchenko's going to drop in there as well, isn't he? Not that that's going to strengthen it too much, but anyway, he just took a throw on this near side, Jorginho, and then he plays it back to Aaron Ramsdale inside the 6-yard box. He's in blue tonight. The Arsenal goalkeeper goes long. There's no Arsenal player that high up the pitch, and it's going to be Kufal, the Czech, to tidy that up. And that's a long ball forward from West Ham. It's gone straight out for a throw to Arsenal on halfway. Nick Nack says, winning the titles means being better than City, not an easy task. Exactly, yeah, winning the league. That's what I'm saying. Winning the league is I'm not saying it's an impossible task, but it's nigh on impossible, isn't it? When Man City are your rivals, your main rivals for it. So as much as we need to do the best that we can, keep winning as many games as we can, and you never know. realistically, we need to look at the cups, don't we, and try and win them every single season. Try and win them. I'm not saying we're going to win them every season. We're not. But we are coming forward now. It is with Kai Havertz on this near side. Big night for him back in the team. Trossard as well, not been getting much starts, has he, in recent games? And that ball was a little bit short, actually, a little bit loose. And it was Alvarez, the Mexican there, who won the ball back for West Ham. But Arsenal picked it up again over on that far side. Ben White is kept his place at right back. I was maybe thinking Tomiyasu might have started tonight, give Ben White a rest. But no, it's Ben White at right back again tonight. Now it's Gabriel. Plays about his near side to Trossard. Leandro Trossard goes past one player quite easily there. Puts a cross in, but it's West Ham who clear that one away. But Arsenal win the header. Well, again, that's a poor ball in midfield. Just about to get away with that there. That was Zinchenko, I think it was, who drops into midfield as he tends to do. He dinks this ball up this near side, looking for Leandro Trossard. Arsenal get a lot of possession here in these very early stages, but not really getting in behind West Ham as yet. Ben White plays that ball forward. It's a good ball. Eddie Nketiah tries to flick it on, but it goes straight to a West Ham player, which happened to be Alvarez in midfield. And now West Ham trying to come forward over on that far side with Ben Rama, who's dropped deep, lays the ball off. And now it's with our old friend Dino Mavropanos, who I say when he first broke into the scene, when was it, 2018, I think it was, he looked really good, didn't he? I remember a couple of games he had Man United away. He had a really good game, didn't he? That might have been his debut, mightn't it? I can't remember. Didn't he get sent off against somebody, Wolves or something? I think he might have done later on. But anyway, West Ham are now coming forward up this near side. There's a lot of space here for Paqueta. He's going to make it into the edge of the penalty. Oh, that's a poor ball, actually. Jared Bowen had made the run, but Paqueta overhit that ball, and Aaron Ramsdale's kept it out. Nathan says, last season was a chance to win the Premier League. Liverpool are far better this season. It'll be tougher this season. No, I agree. Last season was our chance. It absolutely was. But yeah, we didn't take it. That doesn't mean we can't win it this year, as I said, but I think our chances are fairly slim, if I'm honest. Nick Nat says a good chance for a few fringe players to stake a place in the team. They are, but it doesn't matter how well you play, does it? In these games, they're probably not going to start on the weekend, some of these, as we know, because he'll pick the usual Premier League team, won't he, against Newcastle on Saturday evening, which is another difficult game. I've also said the last time we won this cup, I went to one of the finals and one of the FA Cup finals that year. Was in the Sheffield Wednesday end with loads of Arsenal, couldn't get home end tickets. Yeah, I was at all them finals that year. I went to every single game, home and away, in that season, actually. But I think I missed one game, I think all that season. Happy days, where I had a season ticket, used to go all the time. And that was the season wasn't great in the Premier League, was it? But the cup games, we just rose our game, didn't we? And yeah, that is the last time, 1993, the last time we won the League Cup. Well, 30 years ago. Incredible, really, when you think we haven't won a European trophy for nearly 30 years, haven't won the League Cup for 30 years. We're coming forward now, an opportunity. Good defending at the near post, though, from Mavropanos, who's got himself an injury. You know, considering what a big club we are, the fact we haven't won the League Cup for 30 years, we haven't won a European trophy for nearly 30 years, it's like not great, is it, really? It's not a great record. Terry says, see Ramsdale's passing ain't improved. Well, it's one long ball forward. We'll give him a chance. But Mavropanos has just picked up an injury there, but he looks to be okay. I'm good. I'm glad to see him back in the Premier League, actually, Mavropanos, because he went out on loan, didn't he? He went. I can't remember where he went now. And I wonder what happened to him, really. I didn't really follow his career too much, and it's good to see him back in the Premier League again. And hopefully he can go on and have a good career, because I thought he looked a really promising player when we first signed him. Off-road says, remember Merce with the hand signals after the game? Yeah, he was man of the match that day, wasn't he? He scored a great goal, Merce. And obviously we didn't know it at the time necessarily, but he was in the middle of his problems, wasn't he, at that point? Nick Nat says, last European trophy was a Cup Winners' Cup. It was, yeah, 94. You know what I mean? And that's bad, isn't it? 2 of the 4 trophies that you can win, we haven't won for over 30 years. And it's bad, isn't it? You know, if it wasn't for those FA Cups that we've won, you know, we haven't won the league for 20 years. Do you know what I mean? It's not great, is it? So, you know, when people say, oh, it doesn't matter about winning trophies. Well, it does with Arsenal, and their record in recent years has been terrible. If you take away those FA Cups that Arsene Wenger won at the end of his career, we would not be in a very healthy position, would we, in terms of winning trophies, which is what Arsenal's always been about. And that's what frustrates me, because, historically, we've been a club that wins trophies, the third most in English football history ever. And the fact that we haven't won 2 of them for over 30 years and 1 of them for over 20 years, it isn't great, is it? Really, for a club of our size, it's terrible. And if this was Tottenham, or if this was Man United, or if this was Liverpool, we would be laughing at them, wouldn't we? Saying, oh, they call themselves a big club. Look at it, they haven't won anything major for years. And yet here we are in that situation. And Arsenal fans are like, oh, it's all right. We'll give Arteta another 5 years to get it right. Anyway, we've got a free kick on this near side. Reece Nelson's going to take it. Let's hope that we can get a goal from this. Free kick comes in towards the edge of 6-yard box, flips in. Oh, it's a good save from Fabianski there. Not sure it was. I got the header in there. Was it Jorginho? And that was almost a 1-0 to Arsenal there. It was flicked on at the near post. I think it was Kai Havertz, actually. I think it was Kai Havertz with the header. And it was a good save from Fabianski. That was going in under the crossbar there. He's put it over the top. The former Arsenal goalkeeper, of course, he was in goal when we won one of our FA Cups, wasn't he, in 2014? So he's he's won trophies with Arsenal, hasn't he, Fabianski? And he's now in goal for West Ham. Comes towards the end of his career. The corner comes in to near post, headed out powerfully there by Jared Bowen. And now West Ham can try and launch a counter attack with Said Benrahma. Good defensive play though from Reece Nelson. Nathan says there, he's a decent player, Mavropanos. I heard he did well, whatever club he was at. Yeah, I mean, he looked really good at Arsenal, and then I'm not quite sure exactly why he left. Anyway, Nick Nat says, I remember that, quite young at the time, listened to the commentary in the car on the way back from visiting my grandma. Happy days, my friend, happy days. Nick Nat says, promising signs early on. Yeah, we've started well. We've got Phoebe Allott. It's actually Harry. He says, oh, it's Harry again. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Good to see you. Don't forget to check out that channel, Phoebe Allott's channel on YouTube. And so what you need to do is you need to go to my other channel. It's a bit rich, and subscribe to that, and subscribe to Harry's channel, and then we're all good. Anyway, I also got a throw in now over on this far side. We played 9.5 minutes. Ben White's going to take this. His hair kind of clashes with the kit a little bit, doesn't it? His white hair. Anyway, Terry says, yes, but what other club wins nothing, but you can buy a new Arsenal share every 6 weeks? Yeah, exactly. That's what seems to be what's happened. I'm working on a video about Arsenal, which I'm going to be putting together in the next couple of weeks, maybe might even be next week. And one of the things that, when I was researching it, was the tradition and history of the club, which I've always been absolutely obsessed with anyway. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I started supporting Arsenal in the first place as well, because of that tradition and how great it was. And now it's all gone, hasn't it? It's not there anymore. And now we're just another club like everybody else. And we always used to be a class above, didn't we? And like you said, all them kits and all that other, the training gear that just came out that cost about 120 quid. That's all they seem to care about, and it's a shame. It is a shame. Nick Nack says, I don't mind the shirts, makes it easy to spot your teammates. Well, yeah, I suppose it makes it, you don't need the floodlights there. Just wear these shirts and you'll be fine, because they're certainly bright, aren't they? But I don't really like it particularly. But anyway, there you go. I quite like the green one. I think the green one's nice. But this one, no, not for me. Anyway, Arsenal had all the possession so far in this game, but not really created too much apart from that one header. Trossard there with that cross, but it's a poor ball. It's going to go behind for a goal kick. 11 minutes played. And yeah, that one big chance for Arsenal, that header from Kai Havertz. It was a good save, actually, from Fabianski. And that's all we've created, but we've had all of the chances. Now, something else I was researching earlier, actually, which I will share with you because it's quite interesting. Some previous meetings with West Ham. Now, we've only lost once here at the London Stadium in 7 previous meetings. We've only lost 1. We've won 3 and drawn 3. Of course, we drew here last season, didn't we? 2-2, if you remember. We was 2-0 up in 10 minutes. But yeah, so we've got a decent record here. And we've only lost 1 of the last 16 away matches against West Ham in all competitions, which is a pretty good record, isn't it? We've won 10 and drawn 5 of those previous 16. That one defeat actually came in 2019. And who scored the goal? Declan Rice. It was Declan Rice that scored the goal. That was his first ever goal for West Ham, actually. And they beat us 1-0. And that was in the Unai Emery season, I think, wasn't it? Obviously, I wonder what happened to Declan Rice. Anyway, Nick Nack says there, Moyes struggles against the big teams. Yeah, he does. But you have to say he's had a great career, hasn't he? I know it didn't work out for Man United, but overall, it's just the way it is. Nick Nack says never takes the game. So no, I mean it's not just against the big teams. It's just this style of play, isn't it? And it's been pretty successful at West Ham. He's done really well, hasn't he? They won a European trophy much more recently than what we have. So we can't really knock them, can we? Kufal on this near side for West Ham. The Czech defender plays it back to our old mate Dino Mavropanos, and back to another ex-Arsenal player. So what with Declan Rice in our team, and obviously West Ham with a couple of former Arsenal players, it's a bit like friends reunited, isn't it, on the pitch tonight? But West Ham have offered no threat at all. I think that says Conference League though. Well, it's still a major European trophy. I would take a Conference League, especially with our poor record in Europe. So they did well to win it. They didn't lose a game in the whole competition. That's going something in Europe. Yes, it's the third level competition, but there used to be 3 competitions in a Cup Winners' Cup, the UEFA Cup, and the Champions League, or the European Cup as it was. We won the third of those. One of the 2 that we won was what was called the Fairs Cup. Then that was equivalent to the Conference League, really. So we can't really mock West Ham. One of our 2 European trophies was a similar kind of level of kind of European trophy, really. But anyway, Arsenal coming forward over on that far side with Reece Nelson's made good advance up the pitch, actually. He maybe needs a bit of support now, but that's a good tackle on him, actually, by Said Benrahma, who went with him all the way. Good defending, actually. Off-road says there, I hate the shirt. It's like something a relative bought you as a kid and you have to wear it when you visit them. Yeah, it's a bit like, anyway, when you visit your nana now, when she gets you some horrible cardigan for Christmas. Yeah, that's pretty much how it is, isn't it? Nick Nat says they're not the highest echelon of opposition. No, but I say that the first trophy that we won was the same level back in 1970. So I would take any European trophy because we haven't got very many. Anyway, West Ham have got a throw on this near side. Kufal's going to take it. I like that analogy of the shirt, actually, because that kind of where it is a bit, isn't it? It's something that you'd never wear under normal circumstances, is it? Just when you have to. The thing is, Arsenal don't have to wear it tonight. We could have worn the green kit, couldn't we? Because it wouldn't have clashed with West Ham. But anyway, I suppose that now they've got released it, they're going to have to wear it a few times. We've worn it quite a lot already this season, haven't we? It's a shame, but there you go. Nick Nack says Cup Winners' Cup still had top teams. Yeah, the Cup Winners' Cup did. I wouldn't knock our Cup Winners' Cup run. West Ham came close there, a header. Was it Gabriel put it just past his own post? A dangerous ball into the box there. Ramsdale didn't come and get that, and Gabriel kind of wanted him to by the look of Gabriel's reaction. And it was the ball in behind it. It was Kudos coming in on it. And Gabriel had to get there, and he did. It was Alvarez with the cross into the box. And did Gabriel get a header on that? Gabriel's reaction there tends to suggest he wasn't very happy with any of that, really. But anyway, it's a corner to West Ham, which Jared Bowen is going to take for the Hammers. Curls it in to the near post. Oh, it's gone in. I think it's an own goal. It's Ben White. Come off his blonde hair. It's gone in. West Ham are winning. 15 minutes played, their first real attack. It was a corner, badly defended. Ben White at the near post it was with the header. Put it into his own net, and Arsenal now have got a lot of work to do if we are going to stay in this competition. Oh, hang on, I've just remembered I haven't put the score on, have I? Yeah, let me just get that back up for you. And I'll actually have to change it anyway now because it is, unfortunately, 1-0 to West Ham. What that means is we can't play a little tune, can we? I mean, I'm not sure what Ben White was doing there, actually. It would have been a good header if it had been at the right end. It was a good corner from Jared Bowen. A lot of whipping it, heading towards the near post. I suppose Ben White's trying to get something on it, isn't he, and head it away, I suppose, but it came off the top of his head. It's gone in to the net, and that is not great, is it? Nathan says, oh dear, indeed. Nick Nack says, own goal. It is an own goal from Ben White. I think that's what happened there. Well, it was just bad defending, let's be honest. Nick Nack says, Ramsdale had it anyway. Well, potentially. Arsenal coming straight back. Chance at the far post for Kai Havertz, but it goes straight into the arms of Fabianski. Offroad says there's no VAR that would have been disallowed. Yeah, was it a foul on Ramsdale? You're thinking? Is that what you're thinking it was? I mean, it was typical kind of argy-bargy at the near post. I don't think that really impacted things too much. Ramsdale didn't look like he was going to come and get that anyway. And Ben White had to do something. And it's just come off the top of his head and gone in the net rather than heading it behind for a corner, which is what I'm hoping he was trying to do. Offroad says what the commentator says. Oh, right, okay. I haven't got a commentary on, but I'm not sure. We'll see maybe at half time. But I say the only thing I can think of is maybe a foul on the goalkeeper. I'm not really sure. But anyway, we'll have a look again at half time when they show more replays of the goal. But the upshot of it is we're losing 1-0 and we've got to try and find a way to come back into this game if we're going to stay in this competition. Of course, it is penalty. There's no extra time, is it? It's just penalty shootouts tonight. So that could be interesting. Anyway, we're coming forward again. Reece Nelson, who's looked lively in these opening few minutes here, playing on that right-hand side in place of Bukayo Saka, who's on the bench. And he's looked good, actually, hasn't he? Offroad says their BBC commentator said VAR would have ruled that goal out. Oh, okay. Well, it's the BBC, though, so let's not take it too seriously. Nick Nat says soft goal. Didn't seem to be any West Ham playing there. Well, no, they didn't know. That's right. They came into the near post. We had 3 players there, and it's come off an Arsenal head into the net. Yeah, I want to see more replays of it. Actually, it was a very soft goal. You're right, and yeah, not the start that we wanted. Or we maybe deserve. We've played well. We've been dominating the possession, and we had one chance of our own. And yeah, we probably don't deserve to be losing, but that's football, isn't it? You don't always get what you deserve in football. But Aaron Ramsdale's come to get that ball on the edge of the penalty area. We've played nearly 19 minutes. It is West Ham 1, Arsenal 0, and our Arsenal going to be heading out of this Carabao Cup. So a competition we've got such a poor record in. We've lost a few finals since our last win in 1993, but that's as far as it's gone. I remember losing to Chelsea that time when Theo Walcott scored. Obviously, the Man City one, we don't want to talk too much about, do we? We got absolutely hammered that day when that was Arsene Wenger's last season, wasn't it? The last trophy he needed to win, and we couldn't manage to get it for him. Could really poor performance that day. The Birmingham one as well. Wow, who remembers that one? The losing to Birmingham in the final of this competition. That was that 2011? Was it that late goal in Koscielny and was it Chesney was in goal? Or was it Fabianski, actually? I can't remember. Anyway, I know there was a terrible goal to concede at the end. It was Obafemi Martins, wasn't it? Anyway, also coming forward, they're looking for the equaliser. Oh, Kai Havertz almost put the ball through there to Eddie Nketiah. And you'd have fancied his chances in this game after his hat-trick at the weekend. Trossard now on his near side. Now it's back to Havertz again. He couldn't kick that ball in. And it's gone out. It was his ball a minute ago, almost put Eddie in. And I say, in the form that Eddie's been in, you'd have backed him to score in a one-on-one. But it was good defending in the end. And West Ham have managed to get a goal kick. Terry says, I can't see what we're moaning about. Great. It was a great header by White. Absolutely, it was. It was just in the wrong goal, wasn't it? If it had been at the other end, it would have been a lovely header, wouldn't it? After top of your head and pushing it back. But anyway, let's hope we can find a way back into this game, because I think I want to win this cup. I really do. West Ham are in possession at the moment on this near side. They'll be delighted, won't they, to be in front, because they hadn't threatened at all, had they? That was their first time they've been in a penalty area, pretty much, to win the corner, and then obviously to then score from the corner. And Arsenal just won a free kick there. It was Bowen getting a little bit too tight on Jorginho, the 2 number 20s, and Fabio Vieira was then fouled as well. Although the West Ham player there said he got the ball. Maybe he did, but I think he got the man as well. And it is a free kick to Arsenal inside the centre circle. Nick Nack says, is Havertz the worst signing of the summer? Well, he's the worst signing for us. I don't know if he's the worst signing from anybody this summer. I'm trying to think of all the signings. I'm sure Man United must have a worse signing than him. I can't remember who they signed this summer. But he's certainly been our worst signing, hasn't he? There's no doubt, probably our worst signing for quite a long time. West Ham coming forward again now, looking for what would be a second goal, but good defending there from Gabriel. Plays it back to Ramsdale. He goes long up towards halfway. Eddie Nketiah on this near side trying to get there. Good defending that was again by Mavropanos. Offroad says, we won this in 93 and 87. lost all the other finals, not our competition. Well, it isn't, but it needs to become our competition. They all do, don't they? Really, we shouldn't. I say we shouldn't be picking and choosing what we're going to win. You know, we need to have won this competition more, and we need to win it more now. Nathan says Mason Mount. There you go. You see Mason Mount. He's got to be a contender, hasn't he? There must be a few more Man United, surely. That they've had a terrible start to the season, so they must have one or two, mustn't they? The worst signings. Nick Nack says Mason Mount was cheaper at least. Well, yeah, I suppose so, but it doesn't make him any better of a signing, does it? Just because he's cheaper, he's still been terrible. But anyway, we'll have to maybe have a little think about that, won't we? Think who's been the worst signing of the summer anywhere in the Premier League? I said there's bound to be a few contenders, but yeah, that Mason Mount is definitely up there, isn't he? Anyway, Fabio Vieira just been fouled again. He tried to do a little turn, actually. It would have been quite clever. But again, it was... Oh, that was Alvarez, actually, that time, that fouled him. And it is going to be a free kick to Arsenal, which Reece Nelson is going to be standing over and probably take this himself, I would have thought. Although Fabio Vieira is there as well. It's over on that far side. It's in line with the edge of the penalty area, but it's about 10, 15 yards outside the area, with the wall's just inside the penalty area. So it tells you how far out the free kick is. But it's a bit wide for a shot. You would imagine Reece Nelson going to probably whip this in around about the penalty spot, or between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box is the place to put it. It goes into roughly that area. Ben White looking to get a goal at the right end, and it is over the top. I think it was tipped over there by Fabianski. It looked like it was going wide anyway, but Fabianski wasn't going to take any chances, and Ben White looking to score at both ends in this game. I think it definitely was going over, but we managed to get a corner out of it. That was a better header from Ben White, wasn't it, at the right end? And yeah, I think Fabianski, just to be safe, wasn't really sure, was he? So he just touched it over. Nathan says they've actually spent £1 billion, and their last game they had Maguire and Evans playing at the centre and a half. That is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. Oh, Arsenal come close again. That was a header from Eddie Nketiah at the near post. It's hit the side netting, actually. There's a corner there at the near post from this near side. Eddie got the header on, but it's hit the little post just behind the goal that holds the netting up. Actually, no, it did hit the side netting. Actually, the top, yeah. Off-road says Eddie header. He don't do headers. No, he doesn't really, does he? Has he ever scored a header? I don't think he has. Anyway, Declan Rice is warming up, and he's getting a big round of applause off the West Ham fans, who he just applauds back, which is nice to see, isn't it? Because, you know, Declan Rice, a few West Ham fans obviously wasn't happy with him leaving and coming to us. Of course, you can understand why we would feel the same. We have done previously when some of our good players have left in the past. So it's good that he's getting a decent reception, actually, because he's a top lad, and what a fantastic player. He made 245 appearances with West Ham, actually, and scored 15 goals. And hopefully he's going to make more appearances than that for us. But yeah, we'll talk about the worst signings of the summer. He's been the best signing of the summer, hasn't he? Probably, or certainly up there, one of the best signings in Europe, I would say. He's just been fantastic, hasn't he? Every single game he's played, he's been brilliant. Nick Nack says Declan warming up already. I don't think he's warming up necessarily to come on. What sometimes happens is the subs just get warmed up, don't they? Like during the game, especially on a colder evening, just to keep themselves warm and keep them loose, just in case they have to go. It could be an injury, couldn't there? You need to keep your subs warm, really, don't you? So, well, anyway, this is a powerful run here down this near side by Mavropanos, and he's won West Ham a corner. But I don't remember seeing him do that for Arsenal. He was almost coming forward there as a fullback, wasn't he? Down this right hand side. And he just kept on going and kept on going. And in the end, his cross has been deflected wide by Zinchenko, I think it was. And it's going to be a corner to West Ham. They scored for the last one, didn't they? Terry said, just thought our 3 worst signings, funny enough, have all come from Chelsea. Havertz, Jorginho and Willian. I don't know about Jorginho. I wouldn't say he's one of our worst signings. Anyway, so corner to West Ham, Bowen again. It was this one they scored from in the previous one. This one, again, it's come back. Again, it was difficult there. Ramsdale's had to punch under pressure. This time he does get the free kick. There's a bit of pushing and shoving there inside the penalty area. It was Souček, Thomas Souček, who is a very good in the air, isn't he? He attacks those balls, and he was coming in at the far post, and Ramsdale thinks he was fouled by Souček. The referee is now speaking to both players because Ramsdale did react to that. He's got the free kick anyway, Ramsdale. And again, it's a dangerous corner, isn't it, from Jared Bowen. It was flicked on that near post, this time by a West Ham player. Agued, I think it was, and Souček's trying to get there. It's a good punch actually by Ramsdale. I'm not really sure there was too much wrong with that actually, but goalkeepers do get overprotected, don't they? And he's won a free kick. He got a good punch, Ramsdale, there. He was brave and he got there and he punched the ball away. Good goalkeeping. And I say he ends up getting a free kick. Nick Nack says, you know what you're going to get with Rice? Yeah, exactly, you do. You're going to get 100% every single game. Rice, Madison and Sablotzi, best side is for me. Yeah, they've got to be up there, haven't they? Nick Nack says there, Van der Ven, yeah, he's been good, hasn't he? Nathan says, yeah, good player he has, yeah. Has JWP been giving Bowen corner taking lessons? James Ward-Prowse, yeah, maybe. Good balls there, aren't they? He's whipped in a couple of great corners there, Jared Bowen. Of course, James Ward-Prowse is West Ham's set piece specialist, isn't he? And Bowen just got a whack on the head there. And it's going to be just a bit of a break in play. On a cold night, it hurts more, doesn't it? When you get whacked in the face. Oh, it was a knee there, accidental from, I think it was at Kirior, I think it was, wasn't it? Jakob Kirior, the Polish defender. And Arsenal tried to play the ball forward. Not a great ball actually, but Arsenal got a little bit lucky. It's fallen to Kai Havertz on this near side. Takes the ball around a couple of challenges, and he thought he was fouled. In fact, he was fouled, I think, wasn't he? Surely, yeah, he was. It is a free kick to Arsenal. We have played 28.5 minutes here at the London Stadium. It is West Ham 1, Arsenal 0, as you can see on the screen. But anyway, Arsenal had a really good start to this game. We first 10 minutes or so, we were on top. We had a good chance. Kai Havertz had a tipped over by Fabianski, had a couple of corners, and then West Ham, their first attack, they scored. It was an own goal from Ben White. But anyway, look who we've got in the chat. Just changing his name, but again, it's the same question about Bayern Munich, and again, it's going to be the same answer, isn't it? I don't know why you keep on coming in and asking us about Bayern Munich when it's an Arsenal game. Honestly, I don't understand why you keep doing that. But anyway, it is with Ramsdale at the moment, just outside the penalty area for Arsenal. Is he going to go long? He's not. He's just going to play it square, and then it's back out again to Ben White. Plays it up the line, gets it back again from Fabio Vieira, and that's all the way back again to Aaron Ramsdale. And now it's with Jakob Kirior. Finds Gabriel on his near side, pops it into midfield. And I almost lose the ball. Oh, got away with that one there, Jorginho. Now actually we've got a chance of a counter-attack with Fabio Vieira. Reece Nelson's outside him over on that far side. Dinks across. Good header away, though, by Mavropanos, who's actually started this game pretty well, you have to say. And West Ham have dealt with that, and now they're going to complete the clearance with Kufa. In fact, that's a decent ball up this near side to Alvarez. And West Ham, that's a poor ball. Picked up by Reece Nelson with a shot. Dragged it wide. Bad mistake there in midfield for West Ham. Reece Nelson pounced on that. Ran forward with the ball. Tried a shot. But couldn't. Did it get deflected? We're going to see from the replay. It did get deflected. It was on target actually there from Reece Nelson. He's looked really lively in this opening 30 minutes or so. Reece Nelson. He's had a good start to this game. Some people are saying Ben White is just an upgraded Kurt Zouma. Well, I mean, he's a lot more of an upgrade than Kurt Zouma, isn't he? With a corner, the header comes in. Just wide. It was Kai Havertz again. That's twice now he's got headers in. It is one of his strengths, isn't it? He's a big lad. He got the header there. He was always going backwards though, wasn't he? And just headed it wide of that far post. Couldn't quite get enough of a connection on it to put it in the corner. Kai Havertz. He's had a bit of a mixed game, hasn't he? He's done a couple of good things. He almost scored, and then he's had a couple of sort of sloppy parts to his game as well tonight. It kind of sums up his Arsenal career so far, doesn't it, really? Anyway, it is a throw on this near side, which Zinchenko is going to take. Nick Nack says Kurt Zouma is a decent centre-back. He's all right, yeah. He's a solid enough Premier League player, isn't he? I don't think he's good enough to play at one of the top teams. I know he was at Chelsea, but he hardly ever played, did he? He was their backup, wasn't he? And he's never going to be a regular in one of the top 10. Well, Chelsea aren't even a top team anymore anyway, are they? But so yeah, he's all right, Kurt Zouma, but I certainly wouldn't want us to sign him. Absolutely not. Anyway, Arsenal are coming forward now. Fabio Vieira plays up this near side to Leandro Trossard. Nick Nat said, surprised Chelsea ever let him go. He wasn't really regular, was he? And I think he just wanted to play regular football, and he's not kicking cats about. Ben White over on that far side finds Reece Nelson again. Probably been our best player, I think, in this opening 32 minutes, Reece Nelson. Certainly in the attacking side of the team anyway. You also go forward to get that cross towards the far post. Trossard has to hit it on the volley back in towards the penalty area. And there's a foul there by Kai Havertz, I think it was. And the West Ham player's gone down inside the penalty area. And it's going to be a free kick. They show, is this the goal, is it, that they're showing? He was holding a goalkeeper there, actually, Souček. I don't think that made too much impact, though. Was he going to get there, Ramsdale? Probably not. But I don't know, yeah, it probably did make an impact on it, actually. But anyway, the goal was given. Nick Nack says there, yeah, I forgot about the cat thing, yeah. I mean, you can't be going around kicking cats, can you, to be honest? I mean, he kind of got away with that quite lightly, really, I think, because that's not, that's not a particularly great thing to do, is it? I mean, it wasn't maybe as bad as it was made out to be. I mean, it's bad, obviously. Kicking a cat's terrible, but the way it was, before I'd seen the video of it, I thought it was, he'd actually booted it when he maybe wasn't as bad as that, but it was still obviously terrible, and he should have got a lot more of a punishment maybe for that, because it's not, you shouldn't be, us as humans, they look after animals, don't we? Not treat them like that. Anyway, there you go. Off-road says, I can't remember exactly what he did to it was his own cat. He sort of kicked it across his kitchen, didn't he? There's a video of it on TikTok or something. He got a ban, didn't he, and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't like seeing things like that, really. We shouldn't treat animals badly, should we? We've got a comment there. Arsenal should have signed Neymar, even if he was flopped. His shirt would sell, recover the money, and he would have bought his aura. Well, I'm not sure he's got much of an aura anymore, is he really? But anyway, Arsenal are coming forward there with Reece Nelson, who's probably playing a bit better than Neymar at the minute. He's having a good game, Reece Nelson. Jorginho now plays out to Fabio Vieira, cuts in field, gets a cross in with his left foot towards the far post. Kai Havertz is there, tries to hook it back into the box. That's poor, actually. That is poor. He could have brought that ball down. And Nick Nack says there, squad harmony is more important than signing big egos. Well, that seems to be Mikel Arteta's philosophy, doesn't it? Has been his philosophy, because we've had some big egos. But I do think to win big trophies, you need to have egos as well, don't you? If you look at the Invincible team, for example, the amount of egos in that team, that's why they were that successful. Because I think you need those egos, don't you? That's what wins your stuff. Thierry Henry, look at the ego he had. Patrick Vieira, these are all players that Mikel Arteta would struggle to manage, quite honestly. Anyway, Trossard now on this near side. I think he'd struggled to manage a few of the Man City players as well. Actually, Haaland, for example, he'd never ever manage Haaland, would he, Mikel Arteta? He wouldn't be able to cope with him. He's far too big a personality for Mikel Arteta. He doesn't like personalities, does he? Anyway, Reece Nelson, who's been a good run here. Reece Nelson inside the penalty, tries a shot. It's deflected. Comes out to Ben White on that far side. That was good play again from Reece Nelson. He's been really, really good in his first half. He's got the ball again. He really has played well. And you do feel as though if we're going to get back into this game, it's going to be Reece Nelson's going to play a big part in that, because he's been brilliant. But now West Ham are looking dangerous on the counter-attack, as they have done throughout this game. But Arsenal deal with that one, and that's fine there. Nick Nack says there, another nothing touch from Harris. That was terrible, actually. He could have brought that down and maybe got a shot away. It was really, really poor. Nick Nack says they were team players. Oh, yeah, they were team players, absolutely. But they were massive personalities and massive egos, weren't they? You don't go 49 games in the Premier League unbeaten unless you've got massive ego. You have to. That's how you do it. And an arrogance about you as well. That's what that team had. But yes, they're all in it for the team. Of course they were, 100% they were. You don't do that otherwise, do you? It's not an individual. Football's not an individual sport, is it? It's a team sport, and it takes that team spirit which we had. But in training, all the stories that you hear about, they were kicking lumps out of each other in training, weren't they? I bet this team don't. You can see this team in training. I bet they just have cuddles all the time, don't they? And that's why when it comes down to the crunch, I think they don't have that mentality because it's not drilled into them. Maybe it's not natural for them anyway. In most of these players, I don't think they're too nice. And that's not how you win big trophies, is it? By being nice. Nice guys finish last, as they say. Anyway, this ball's forward here for Zinchenko into Eddie Nketiah. Gets on the end of it, can't keep it down. It's gone over the top. That was a good move, that from Arsenal. Zinchenko got forward there, put the ball back across the goal, and Eddie Nketiah came in. It was a good ball, actually, by Trossard in the first place, outside of his foot. Zinchenko hit that first time, back to the edge of the 6-yard box. Eddie came in, has hit it first time under pressure, and has put it over the top. Arsenal looking to try and get the equaliser before half-time. We've played 38 minutes. It's still West Ham 1, Arsenal 0. And not the start that we wanted, is it really, in this game? We, of course, got to this stage. We beat Brentford 1-0 away, didn't we? That was an early goal from Reece Nelson, actually. He seems to like this competition, doesn't he? Because he's having a great game tonight. But West Ham coming forward again, looking to try and get a second goal before half-time. That would really make it difficult for us, wouldn't it, to come back into it if that was the case. But anyway, so far we have kept it to 1. We're still in this game. We're still in this cup. And I think we're going to come out in the second half and have a real go. We might see 1 or 2 changes. We've got some quality on the bench, haven't we? We've got a lot of our great first-team players, haven't we? Obviously, Deck, as we know, Bukayo, Saka, Martin, Odegaard, Gabriel Martinelli, all on the bench. All can make an impact in this game, can't they? Terry says there, did you just hear what the commentator just said? Havertz has got silky skills. I haven't got a commentary on, but that sums the commentary up. Then anyway, Havertz there plays it to this near side to Trossard. Trossard pulls it back to the edge of the penalty. What's a funny ball, actually, and West Ham can get it away. It was good defending, actually, there initially. In fact, it isn't. It's going to be a free kick to West Ham. Bowen gone down again. Another bang on his head. He's had a couple of bangs on his head, hasn't he? Jared Bowen in this first half. It was Kirill that time. The referee wants a word with the big pole, who's actually he's had a decent game as well, actually, tonight so far. He looked pretty solid at the back. I think he played in the West Ham game last season, didn't he? Because it was towards the end of the season in the league, and we had a few injury issues by that point, didn't we? I think he might have played in that game. Anyway, West Ham have taken that free kick. They've gone backwards and now sideways. It's with Maverick Rapanos. Plays it back to Lucas Fabianski. He made that really big early save, didn't he? When it was 0-0 to deny Kai Havertz. That might have made a difference, not only to this game, but maybe to Kai Havertz's confidence, because he hasn't scored from open play yet, obviously, for Arsenal. We know just that one penalty at Bournemouth, which got quite a reaction, didn't it? Off-road says, is it just me or does Havertz look like a character from the old Hammer horror movies? he could probably have been in them Hammer horror movies, couldn't he? He has got that sort of Halloween look about him, hasn't he? And he's had a bit of a horror show tonight for Arsenal, hasn't he, with his performance so far? Just apart from that one-headed chance earlier. I said that if that went in, maybe it would have seen a different Kai Havertz. But he looks like he's within himself. It doesn't look like he's playing within himself, which isn't really helping, is it? Anyway, that long ball from West Ham up this near side, Kufel isn't going to keep that in. And it's going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. Corley Schooner says Zuma needs to be locked in a room with the biggest, baddest cat on the planet. Well, like a tiger or something like that. A lion or a tiger. That's what he needs, yeah. I don't think they'd be quite as forgiving, would they? Especially if it was a tiger. They don't really seem to get on with humans too well, do they? Not at first. So if you get to know them, they do, apparently. I've seen a lot of videos of, the zookeepers and stuff that look after them. And they can be quite big, loving creatures, can't they? But obviously, if they're just roaming around in the wild, they're not going to be much fun, are they? Unfortunately, but yeah, that might have been the best punishment for him. Although I don't think he'd have been able to play football again after that, would he? If he was still around to do so. Offroad says, I think we need to give him a nickname, Nosferatu. Nosferatu. Was that a character from some film? Is it? I don't know. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward on this near side with Leandro Trossard, but he can't get away there from Kudus, who is playing well. We mentioned him, didn't we, at the start of the game, Mohamed Kudus. He's having a decent game with Ghanaian. And the weird, because the shots on target, well, shots in total has been 0 for West Ham, and they lead 1-0. That's strange. Arsenal had 8 and only 1 on target, which was a header from Kai Havertz. And we've had 16 touches in the opposition box, West Ham just 3. And of course, it was an Arsenal player touch in the opposition box that led to the West Ham goal, wasn't it? The own goal from Ben White. And here we are, nearly half time, and that's the difference between the teams in this Carabao Cup 4th round tie. Are Arsenal going to be going out fairly early on in this competition again? We did reach the semi-finals under Mikel Arteta, didn't we, in 2022 when we lost that to Liverpool. If you remember, we got that 0-0 draw, didn't we, at Anfield in the first leg with 10 men when Xhaka got sent off, and then they picked us off at the Emirates, didn't they, in the second leg, Liverpool. And that's about the best that we've done in this competition for a little while, isn't it? Since that final, I'll say, in 2018, which we don't really want to remember too much, do we? Because it wasn't a great day, was it? Yeah, we haven't had some good finals, have we, in the League Cup in recent years at all, have we? It's been quite disappointing. Anyway, West Ham trying to come forward again, but that's a poor ball. Zinchenko cuts it out. Now he comes forward up this near side. And you know, he's falls back, wins the throw on this near side, which Trossard was going to take. In fact, he leaves it for Zinchenko. This kit, I just can't get my head around it. Terry says there, our sub bench looks bored. Well, I'm sure they'll some of those on that subs bench are going to have an impact in the second half. You can guarantee it. They're going to come on and they're going to have to try and win us this game by the look of it, aren't they? Because with all the possession that we've had, we haven't, apart from that one early chance, we haven't really tested Fabianski much, have we, in this game? And that's not, you know, all this possession hasn't led to anything. And we're losing the game. Anyway, we're coming forward again now with Trossard. Is this going to be the moment where we get back into it? Trossard cuts back in field. He's got 2 defenders around him, finds Gabriel. Havertz just lays it off, gets it back. Havertz on this near side, plays it into Trossard again. Trossard thought about a cross. It was blocked when he did get across him, but West Ham haven't cleared it. It's still with Leandro Trossard. And now it's with Gabriel. Arsenal pushing for this equaliser before half-time. We're into the last minute of the 45. Can we find a goal? But West Ham have won that ball. Now they're coming forward themselves. Jared Bowen on this near side. We know how dangerous he can be. Good defensive work there from Kai Havertz. Actually wins the ball back. And it's cleared away there by Kirior. Good defensive play there from Kai Havertz, actually. We may criticise him sometimes for some of his play there, but he worked really hard for the team there. Got back in, won the ball, and now Arsenal back in possession. We've got, 15 seconds of normal time remaining at the end of this first half. And it is still West Ham 1, Arsenal 0, although it's an Arsenal goal scorer, Ben White's own goal. Arsenal going forward again. Eddie Nketiah trying to get on the end of that. And he got the flick on it. He's going to go behind for a goal kick. It's going to be 2 minutes of stoppage time. Yeah, I don't think there'll be too much because there's not really been a lot of stoppages, has it? It's going flowed quite well. Off-road says Chelsea are winning. They are playing Blackburn, to be fair. So they should be winning, shouldn't they? Let's be honest. We expected them to go through, of course, tonight. So we're into this 2 minutes of stoppage time now. And it's looking as though Arsenal are going to go in at half-time behind. And we'll have it all to do, won't we? In the second half, Fabianski's going to take this goal kick. He's all in green. The former Arsenal goalkeeper goes long up this near side. It's flicked on there by Souček. Another long ball forward though by Arsenal. Mavropanos wins that one. He's had a decent first half for West Ham, hasn't he? The other Arsenal, ex-Arsenal player in this West Ham team. And now there's Paqueta's gone down. There it's a free kick. I think the foul on him there was by Kai Havertz. Just pinched the ball off him there, but he did catch the Brazilian, and it is going to be a free kick to West Ham into the last minute of the first half now. And West Ham looking to try and get a second goal, are they? It's a free kick. It's inside their own half, but it's a chance to get the ball forward towards the edge of that Arsenal penalty area. It is chipped forward. Arsenal did deal with that pretty well, headed away by Gabriel, and that's going to be a throw to Arsenal. Are we going to get one more chance before half-time to try and get level in this Carabao Cup tie? Ball's kind of with Aaron Ramsdale. It needs to be at the other end of the pitch as we head down towards the 2 minutes of stoppage time. Eddie Nketiah is trying to get forward up this near side, but good defending again from West Ham, Kufau, and West Ham coming forward again with Kudos, who's looked pretty lively, hasn't he, for West Ham in this first half. Terry says they're 44 minutes, and that's the best thing you can think of that Havertz has done. Well, you're scratching it. Well, yeah, I mean, it pretty much is the best thing he's done. The only thing really positive that he's done, I suppose, apart from the header. Anyway, the half-time whistle's gone. It is West Ham 1, Arsenal 0 at the break. That own goal after just 15 minutes from Ben White. It was a corner from Jared Bowen. It's maybe, yeah, looking at the replay, was Aaron Ramsdale fouled by Souček as he came to try and claim that corner. In the end, Ben White got the touch at the near post, and it's gone in, and the goal's given. There's no VAR in this competition. Ben White is in conversation there with Reece Nelson as we leave the pitch. Reece Nelson's probably been our best player in that first half, I thought. Certainly in the attacking sense, he's been dangerous, and he's been unlucky maybe not to score a goal or two. Off-road says that it was shirt pulling that VAR would have ruled that goal out for. Yeah, shirt pulling on the goalkeeper. Now, he did pull his shirt, there's no doubt. And potentially they might have done. But you see, that to me doesn't justify VAR's existence, does it? You know, the fact they may have disallowed that goal. I prefer football without VAR. And even sometimes it may cost us, as it may well have done there. We won't know whether VAR would have ruled it out, do we? We don't know, because that's not what's in this game. But even if it had done, I still prefer football without VAR. I just prefer it. You know, it flows better. 2 minutes of stoppage time there, you know what I mean? The game just flows. And I kind of like that better. It's just as it should be. But yeah, it might have helped us out a little bit there. But we need to do more ourselves as well anyway, don't we? We can't just rely on the technology. We need to be better. We needed to have defended that better in the first place. We need to defend the move that led to the corner better. And we need to create more better chances at the other end. We've had a few moments, but one shot on target in that first half, and that's it. And that's not enough, is it? When you're away from home and you've dominated the possession, you've got to create more than one effort on target. I mean, you've got to. Russ is in the chat here, my friend. Russ, good to see you. He says, hope you're well. Shocking first half. It wasn't great, was it? It wasn't great at all. But anyway, it is half time. Maybe better to come. Terry says, at least if Havertz gets sent off, it won't make any difference. Probably not. Corey's going to say Trossard could definitely star in a Hammer horror film with those black eyes. Yeah, he does look like a panda a little bit, doesn't he, Trossard? But I think Havertz is the most scary looking one, isn't he? He looks more like out of a horror film, doesn't he? You know, because he's tall and he's slim and he's got kind of drawn in cheeks and stuff. You know, he looks a little bit like a horror film character, doesn't he, Kai Havertz? And he's had a bit of a horror show there in that first half, hasn't he? Let's be honest. But he's not the only one. It's been, as Russ said, there has been I think shocking is maybe a little bit harsh. I think we played okay. We just created very, very little, and it was a poor piece of defending for the goal. Not just defending that corner, but what led to the corner in the first place. Anyway, let's have a look at some of these other some of the other scores that's been going on in this competition tonight. Let's have a look. Where are we? Right, let's have a look at this. So we've got the League Cup fixtures. So it is, as we know, West Ham 1, Arsenal. Of course, we're watching this one. Liverpool are leading 1-0 at Bournemouth. It's Gakpo with that goal. Chelsea has, as we said, a 1-0 up against Blackburn. Badia Shile with that goal. Everton are 1-0 up against Burnley. Tarkowski, did he used to play for Burnley, didn't he, Tarkowski? Back against his old club. Fulham are winning 1-0 at Ipswich. Wilson with that goal. And they've just kicked off at Old Trafford, Manchester United against Newcastle. That is still 0-0. Quite interested to see the Newcastle lineup. Of course, we played about the weekend, don't we? So have they rested players at Newcastle? Let's have a look. The Newcastle team, yeah, they have Dubravka's playing, Livramento's playing, Kraft is playing, Dummett's playing, Hall's playing, Target's playing, Rich is playing. So, yeah, they've made a lot of changes, Newcastle. In fact, Target's had to go off after just 5 minutes, Matt Target. So, yeah, Newcastle obviously are resting all their team for the big game against Arsenal at the weekend. So, yeah, which I kind of expected them to. I wasn't maybe expecting that many changes from Newcastle, but they've got a lot of injuries, haven't they? I suppose they can't really risk it, can they? But anyway, There we go. So yeah, we need to turn this around, don't we? Offo says there, would that mean he would miss the Newcastle game if he got sent off? Yes, he would. Yeah, because it's a domestic ban, isn't it? It's European games it wouldn't affect. It affects the domestic games, and it affects the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup. Any ban that you get for being sent off in the Premier League or in a domestic game is a domestic ban, isn't it? Cornish Gunner says, do we need? We do need to stay in this cup. It's too easy to think that it's not important. When you start dropping out, it tends to continue to the rest of the cup competitions. I mean, I just personally feel that we need to try and stay in all the cups as long as we can. I just feel that's what you have to do. You know, we are a big club, and big clubs need to try and do the best they can in all competitions. I never liked this. You know, I always used to love the League Cup. It's the first trophy I ever saw Arsenal win. And I've always liked it as a competition. And I've not liked this in recent years when the bigger teams, if you like, have not really taken it seriously, and they've rested players and they've, you know, played. I mean, Arsene Wenger used to play a lot of the kids, didn't he? Although we did quite well, actually. We always used to maybe reach sort of semi-final stage, didn't we? Quite a lot in the Arsene Wenger days, didn't we? We got to a couple of finals with a young team, but I don't know. I'd like to see us really take this seriously, because it's a cup competition. I'd like to win. I like to win them all. I'd like to win them all, of course. Who wouldn't? Off-road says, I changed my mind. He looks more like the hunchback from the Addams Family reunion. That's a bit harsh, really, but yeah, I do take your point. But yeah, they've just got. I've just obviously got the coverage on that. Alan Smith's there, of course, a former Arsenal player. What this Arsenal team couldn't do with a centre forward like Alan Smith in this team, you know, what a brilliant player he was. Very underrated, wasn't he? I think Alan Smith really was. Got a couple of golden boots, won a couple of leagues, and yeah, the general's in the chat. Hey there, my friend, good to see you. Hope you well. He says, hi Rich, how's it going? Well, it was going quite well until the game started, and now it's not quite going so well, is it? But yeah, we need more likes with goals. Exactly, yeah, give us a like, and then Arsenal will come back in the second half and win. So you've got to play your part as well by giving it a like and subscribing if you haven't done so already. I think we're about 60 subscribers away from 2,000, actually. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Let's get to 2,000 before Christmas. That'd be good. Terry says, the only way Havertz is getting sent off is if he gets 2 yellow cards for time wasting. Or do I mean he's a waste of time? Yeah, I mean, he's not going to get. I don't know. He did one foul in that first half, didn't he? On Alvarez, I think it was. But anyway, I have to say, I think that Reece Nelson has been great in that first half, though. You know, for all the pretty average performance Arsenal have given as a whole, I think Reece Nelson has been decent, actually, and he's maybe our little bit of shining light, isn't he, in this game so far? It certainly seems that way to me, anyway. But you know, it's still sort of early days, isn't it? We've still got time to come back, and we have got a strong bench, which is good as well. Anyway, see what's going on in the world, shall we? Anyway, it is half time at the London Stadium, and I said we've got such a good record here. We've only lost once in this stadium in 7 previous visits, 3 wins and 3 draws. So it is a stadium that we've generally done well. I remember one year we were 1-0 down at half time, wasn't we? We came back and won 3-1. I think that was the year when Nicolas Pepe scored that great goal, didn't he? Cutting in from the right hand side of his left foot, curling it into the top corner. So you know we've come from behind before. This is one away game, isn't it, where we've done so well in history. So I was looking at some stats before. Where was it? There was one. I think we've only lost 2 of the last 32. Actually, that's in all competitions. West Ham home and away. They lost 2 out of the last 32. And actually, West Ham have beaten us since they beat us in the FA Cup final in 1980, which I'm sure some of you guys remember. I know I do, unfortunately. they've actually beaten us more times away than they have at home, which is weird, isn't it, when you think about it? They've actually won more times away, this fixture away, than they've won at home. So it's a ground where traditionally we do well. We've always done well. So hopefully we can turn this around, because I want to stay in this cup. I really do. The general says it looks like White did not hit it high enough. I mean, I think what he was trying to do, he was at the near post, and I think he thought he could just hit it wide at the near post, but obviously it's hit the top of his head and gone behind him rather than in front of him, which is what I think he was trying to do. And that's why it's ended up in the net, really. But anyway, these things happen, don't they? I mean, it's, you know, he had to react. He thought he needed to get something on it, and unfortunately, that was where it went into his own net there. But anyway, the good news is it is only half time. We're still in the game, and I'm sure we've got the opportunity to turn this round and come back and hopefully go through. So there's no extra time tonight in the Carabao Cup. It goes straight to penalties. If it's a draw, it goes straight to penalties. So that's what that is what we'll be looking at, obviously. If we get level, we could have. You remember we've had a penalty shoot already this season, haven't we? Which was in the Community Shield against Man City, and we won that one, didn't we? So I'm sure we'd be okay if we were to have a penalty shootout again. Finding some notes here. I do a lot of notes, you see. I don't just throw this together, you know. I actually take notes. Would you believe it? I can't find the notes I did before. Anyway, I'm sure I'll find it in a minute. So yeah, but yeah, some notes that I took. Just really looking at previous games of West Ham, because I knew we had a decent record here. Just because I can remember it going back for years. We didn't lose here for a long time, did we? And then we only lose here very rarely. Off-road says if it goes to pens, I will lose interest. No, I think pens are the most interesting thing, aren't they? I don't want it to go to pens. I'd rather we just won it, because pens are quite nervy, aren't they? But I think it could be quite exciting. Terry says, how long do you think it'll be before Trossard and the other players start getting the unplaying second fiddle to Havertz? Well, I don't know. Maybe Havertz he's a popular guy in the dressing room. Maybe they all like him. In which case, they're not going to be that bothered, are they? If he's playing, yes, you want to win games, though, don't you? That's what it comes down to ultimately, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, we just need to play better as a team. I don't think we can just blame Kai Havertz. You know, he's not playing well. He costs a lot of money, and that's a factor. But you know, we've not previously lost a game that he started, have we? That's one way of looking at it. You know, we haven't lost a game he started, have we? So, anyway, Off-road says there, can't stand penalties. It's no longer a team game. Well, I mean, I suppose it's a team game in the sense that all of the team have to take, well, not all of them, but a lot of the players have to take a penalty, don't they? I don't know. I don't know. I don't like penalties, but how do we settle the game? How do we settle these games? If we don't use penalties, what do we do? You know, they wanted to get away from the replays. I mean, I can remember Arsenal over the years, we were involved in lots of long kind of cup ties with lots of replays. You remember Sheffield Wednesday from 1979, I think it was. You know, we had all those replays against Liverpool in the semi-final. You know, we've been involved in a few over the years, haven't we? And you can't really do that now, can you? Because of the fact that the number of games that there is and fitting in the replays and all that kind of stuff, it's not possible to do it, is it? And I can see the sense in deciding it on the night. I think it makes sense to do that for me. Alvaro says a golden goal. Yeah, but what if there isn't a golden goal? What if no one scores in extra time? What do we do then? We can't keep playing till someone scores. You could be playing till midnight, couldn't you? How many games have we seen Arsenal play where we're never going to score? So, yeah, golden goal. See, I never really liked golden goal either, actually, when they had that in, didn't they, in the World Cups and stuff. I never really liked that, because I always think that, like, one goal, especially if it's very, very early on in extra time, that shouldn't decide a game, should it, when there's still 25 minutes left? I didn't like that as a way of deciding it either. It's tough, isn't it? How can you? What's the fairest way? What's the best way to decide the games? I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Penalties seems to be the way. We've all got used to them now. Yes, we don't like them necessarily, but yeah, I don't know. Terry says take a player off every 5 minutes. Yeah, but the game would go on forever. The game would go on forever. I don't know. I think penalties, it makes sense, doesn't it? It does make sense. It may not be great. We may not enjoy it, but it does kind of make sense. Anyway, the team's back out for the second half. There's some bubbles going on, as there tends to be at West Ham with their little bubble machine. It is going to be Arsenal to kick off in the second half. We're attacking the goal to our right, which is the end where the Arsenal fans are, which tends to gives the away team an advantage in the half where you're attacking your own fans. I think it does, but we'll see. And there's been no changes that I can see. I think it's all the same lineup for both teams. Although it says multi-ball. No, see, that's just making it too Americanized, isn't it? I mean, there isn't really a definitive answer, is there? And that's why penalties came in, and that's why penalties is still used because of that reason. Because there's no other way, is there? That makes sense. Anyway, West Ham coming forward straight away at the start of the second half, looking for a second goal. Bowen is in behind. It's going to go in, is it? No, it's not, because Ben White's cleared it away. Ramsdale just got a touch on that. Wow. And the ball has gone behind for a corner there. Straight away, West Ham, it was Saeed Benrahma, did really well. Look at the movement from Bowen. Brilliant it was. Lovely ball as well. He got a shot away there. Decent save from Ramsdale, and Ben White was across there to tuck it away as Kudos was coming in. But that was good play. That was a decent save from Ramsdale, actually. A little bit unconventional, but he got there. And Ben White just managed to touch that behind. Anyway, the corner comes in. It was dangerous, actually. It was a free header. Was that Souček? We know how dangerous he can be in the air. He's headed that wide. Not great defending from a corner again. Offo says there, only one is a football, the rest are bowling balls. Well, no one's going to go after and kick them either. Well, there was the beach balls. No, remember that game? Was it the Sunderland game, wasn't it, against Liverpool that time when there was a beach ball on the pitch? Maybe throw a few beach balls on. That might be fun, mightn't it? What I actually quite like is in hockey, where they have that where the player starts on the halfway line and has a certain amount of seconds to get a shot away and score. I quite like that as an idea, rather than just a penalty. Maybe, it's like a one-on-one, isn't it? You run through with the goalkeeper and you've got so many seconds to score. And either you don't score and the goalie saves it and the time runs out, or you do score and that's it. Something like that could be quite good. Maybe it works in hockey. Well, I know hockey is a different sport and you can see why it works well in hockey, but it might be, that's the only other thing I can maybe think of that would perhaps make more sense. But even again, that isn't like, you're talking about not a team game. It's still one player's got to go at a time, like the penalties. It's just going to be probably a little bit more exciting to watch, because it certainly is in hockey, isn't it? Those shootouts are really good. I like them. Offo says there, surreal football, add a player every 5 minutes till someone scores. Yeah, but again, you see, you could just go on all day, couldn't you? It could go on all day, and that's the reason why they don't do stuff like that. They need to have an end point, don't they? That is going to end. I know sometimes a penalty shootout going on all night, but eventually it's going to finish, don't you? And I don't think there's a much better way, if I'm honest. As much as we don't like them, they do bring a little bit of excitement sometimes to the most dullest of games, don't they? And it might bring some excitement to this one later on. Who knows? Because there hasn't been too much excitement, certainly from an Arsenal perspective, in this game for all our possession in the first half. West Ham have started the second half well, and they had a big chance right at the start there with Jared Bowen. But here comes Reece Nelson. He's been really good in that first half, trying to make things happen again. But West Ham won the ball back, but they haven't, because Trossard was fouled. Looks like he got a whack in the face there from the West Ham player as he went to. Oh, that's quite nasty, actually. Was that Kudos? Clattered into him there, his shoulder in the face. He's going to have another black eye, isn't he? Leandro Trossard. Following that elbow or shoulder, in his face there. That was not very nice. Was it? Anyone else got a free kick midway inside at the West Ham half? Very, very central opportunity to get that ball back into the box again. Terry says, take one Arsenal player off every 2 minutes. Isn't that in the referee's kind of instruction manual to take one Arsenal player off every few minutes? Anyway, Arsenal coming forward over on that far side, looking to try and get level here. We've played 4 minutes of the second half. Good defending that was over from West Ham, but Vieira lost out. But we won the ball back again. We know we haven't because the referee's given a free kick against Fabio Vieira. And it's going to be West Ham back in the possession again. 49 minutes on the clock. And the second half, we haven't got going yet, have we? West Ham had the best chance. Declan Rice is still warming up. I think he's determined to spend the whole game warming up just so the West Ham fans will cheer him. I think that's the plan, really. Mark C says West Ham had 0 shots either on or off target. I know, yeah, we saw that before. We were talking about that. They had 0 shots because it was an own goal. Anyway, they've had 1 shot on target in the second half and they've just scored. It is 2-0. It is kudos. And that's been coming since half time, you have to say. Really poor from Arsenal, and kudos is now sitting on the advertising hoarding behind the goal to get the congratulations from his teammates. West Ham fans are enjoying that. I went to school with most of them probably. Anyway, that was just a simple ball, long ball forward. It was played on that far. So good first touch from kudos. The second shot was a shot into the far corner. It's a good finish actually, but not great defending, is it at all from Arsenal there? Really, really poor. Oh, it was Zinchenko. There's a surprise. Who would have thought that Zinchenko would be poor defensively? Who actually would have thought that? That's incredible, isn't it? But he was. And it is now 2-0 to West Ham. And it's kudos with that goal. So they had no shots on target in the first half. They've had 2 now in the second half. And they've just scored with the second of those across Ramsdale into that far corner. That's a good finish. Poor defending, as I say. And Arsenal now look as though we are going out of the Carabao Cup early on again. Offroad says, typical Arteta, plays a poor team, then bring the better players on when we're behind. Yeah, he does that a lot. But then a lot of managers do that, I suppose. But yeah, I don't like that as a tactic myself. Terry says, why didn't Arteta make changes at half time? Did he really think this shambles we're going to improve in the second half? Well, we've got worse. We actually didn't play too badly in the first half, really. We didn't create a lot, but we had most of the ball. But second half, we've been terrible. You know, we played 6 minutes and West Ham could have scored 2 goals. They've got 1 and they've looked the better team. But now we're coming forward. We need to find the goal back, don't we? Quite quickly, you feel. Trossard is over on that far side, finds Kai Havertz. I wonder when the substitutions are going to come. Kai Havertz again over on that far side of a shot. It's such a weak shot. It rolled all the way across the 6-yard box. And I'm starting to feel a little bit sorry for Kai Havertz. I've got to be honest. Forget the money that we paid for him. Forget that. Just look at him as a human being, right? You can clearly see he's struggling for confidence. He's just not in a good place at this moment, is he? And should he be playing? Probably not. No. But I'm starting to feel very sorry for him, actually. And it's not nice to see, is it? That effort he had there was just really, really weak. But anyway, Mark C says Zinchenko got turned away to. He did, and that happens all the time. He's not a defender. He's not a defender. He's a midfield player. And the sooner that everybody starts to realise that, and Arteta starts to play him in his proper position, we're not even playing him in his proper position. Just play a left back who can defend. That's what we need to do. Offroad says there, Rice coming on, watch him get injured. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but don't say that. Please don't say that, because he's a shining star, isn't he? Declan Rice. The last thing we need is him getting injured. Terry says there, need to bring left back Martinelli on. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, nearly a third goal for West Ham. A good cross there, well defended that time by Arsenal. I think it was Gabriel. I would maybe bring Tommy Asu on at left back. He had a couple of good games, didn't he? He got a good goal at the weekend. I know they want to save him for Newcastle, probably, but anyway, West Ham now coming forward again on this near side. Really, really poor second half. You imagine the substitutions are going to be happening really, really soon. Paul says there, Kia is below average, get used to it. Well, it's not so much getting used to it. I'm starting to feel just sorry for him as a person. You know, it's such a, he looks like he's really, really struggling, doesn't he? And it's not nice to see, especially when he's one of our players. And, you know, whatever we think of him as a player, he's a human being as well, isn't he? And he's struggling. clearly struggling out there, not just in this game in general. And it's not nice to see, is it? Let's hope something comes off for him. Hopefully he can get a goal. That might make him feel a bit better and he can maybe then push on. But anyway, Fabio Vieira now for Arsenal. There's a bit of space on this near side. Reece Nelson, Ben White's gone on the outside of him. A good pull back there from Ben White, but no Arsenal player ready. And now West Ham have got a chance of another counter attack on this near side. Paqueta just keeps it in, actually. Didn't think he had, but he just managed to. Good play there by the Brazilian. He's still in possession now, Lucas Paqueta. And then is he fouled? He is fouled by Reece Nelson. It's going to be a free kick. That was good work there by Paqueta, wasn't it? Terry says, come on, Paul. He ain't that good. No, I mean, he's not. But I say we need to start looking at him from a human perspective, not just on the fact that he's not playing well. But anyway, there's a long ball forward there, headed away by Curio, I think that was. Now it's back with Gabriel. And Arsenal now have it all to do. We're 2-0 down. We've played nearly 10 minutes of the second half. It's been a really poor 10 minutes, you have to say. Really, really poor. And we're 2-0 down. And we probably now... I don't think we deserve to be 1-0 down when they score, but we certainly deserve to be 2-0 down now for this start to the second half. It's been really, really poor. Anyway, we are in possession now inside the centre circle. Curio finds Ben White. It was his own goal that got things moving for West Ham after just 15 minutes. It's his ball over the top. A bit of space over on that far side for Leandro Trossard. Plays the ball back in to Zinchenko. Gets it back again. Plays the ball up the line looking for the run there of Kai Havertz. But West Ham do manage to clear that away. But we pick the ball up again. With Zinchenko now. It's with Trossard. It's over. Hit that pass. And it's gone behind. It's a goal kick to West Ham. And now we're making the substitutions. Tomiyasu's coming on. Please let it be Zinchenko that goes off. See, people moan about Kai Havertz, right? I'm not being funny, but Zinchenko's our worst player. Absolute mile. Anyway, Declan's coming on. Go on, Decky. Let's get yourself in there, son. So Declan Rice is coming on. Not quite sure who's going off for him. Tomiyasu's coming on as well. It's got to be Zinchenko. Surely it's got to be. Hopefully that will be where Zinchenko will stay on the bench. So Declan Rice is on. Is it Fabio Vieira that's gone off? Didn't quite see that. And just 11 minutes into the second half, Declan comes back on, and a pitch he knows very, very well. And Tomiyasu comes on as well. He's been playing well lately, hasn't he, Tomiyasu? He was brilliant in Seville. Oh, it's Jorginho that went off for Declan Rice. That seems fair enough. So Jorginho's gone off. Has he got an injury there? He looks like he's in a little bit of pain. And it was Zinchenko, thankfully, it's gone off as well. And they're the two changes. And Declan Rice, is he going to get a goal against his former team? But West Ham are coming forward straight away again with Jared Bowen. And Arsenal don't particularly deal with that well. That's Paqueta. Played the ball for looking for Kudos. He's fairly quick, isn't he, that Kudos? Offer says there, Man U are losing again. Well, that's a surprise, isn't it? Tell us something we don't know. Paul says this proves AFC second string is not good enough. Well, no, exactly, they're not. But unless they play, they're never going to become good enough, are they? Unless they play together more. Mark C says Jorginho off. Yeah, it is. Yeah, just seen Zinchenko walking around the pitch, looking a little bit sorry for himself. I'm sorry, mate. You're just not good enough as a left back. You're not. And you've cost us a goal tonight and potentially cost us the opportunity to get back into this game, because 2-0 down at West Ham is a difficult place to be. But is Declan Rice going to lift us? Because he's done that so many times this season, hasn't he? He really has. And he's been absolutely brilliant. Let's see if he can help us to turn this around. The other scores in: Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1, Blackburn 0, Everton 1, Burnley 0. I think all these games are half time, aren't they? Ipswich 0, Fulham 1, Man U 0, Newcastle 1. Well, Man United may well be going out of Newcastle getting revenge for last season's defeat in the final of this competition, of course. They lost 2-0 at Wembley, didn't they, to Man United, but they're leading at Old Trafford tonight. But makes no difference to us, because we are currently on the verge of going out of this competition again far, far too early. And it's not been a great performance, has it, from Arsenal? Certainly not in the second half. It's been really poor, disjointed, and not great at all. West Ham coming forward again up this near side. It's a good play that is there from the left back, Emerson. but West Ham lose the ball there. Declan Rice steps in. His first real touch since coming on. He knows this pitch so well, doesn't he? Terry says, did Arteta just say to Declan, Tommy, please save me my job? I mean, this game isn't a job-threatening defeat, is it, if we lose? Because it's the fourth competition, I suppose. But I don't know. It's a competition that we could have won. And we could still win, let's be honest. And the cross comes in, maybe not now, but that's good header away by Ben White. Only as far as Jared Bowen. And it's 3-0. That's it. Game over. Jared Bowen with the goal. And it is goodbye to the Carabao Cup for another season. Probably goodbye to a trophy for the season as well when you look at it. This was one of our big chances. It is now 3-0 to West Ham. We are getting absolutely hammered here by the Hammers. Off-road says there, that's it. I'm off Ramsdale Howley. It was a Ramsdale Howley. He should have saved that, really. Let's have a look at the replay again. I mean, West Ham have been good in the second half, but we've been absolutely awful. Ben White's poor header went out to Bowen. It got a deflection right in front of him off Kyrgios, but yeah, the goalkeeper should be saving that. And he hit it well enough. It got a deflection, but Ramsdale's got to save that. And I think that just sums up there exactly why Ramsdale's been dropped out of the team, because he's gone with his wrong arm and he's pushed it into the net. That's just terrible, terrible goalkeeping. And yeah, that's where we are with it, really. Mark C says Fabio's too lightweight to be in central midfield. Absolutely right. Yeah, we all know this. We know this. We've known this for 2 years. For some reason, Arteta keeps throwing him in there. Off-road says there, Arteta out. I am still saying it. Well, you're not the only one, my friend. I kind of agree with you. Well, what I would say, obviously, we're not going to get rid of a manager when we're unbeaten in the league. Of course not. No, we're not. What I believe is he's not the manager to take us to where we want to go, which is to be winning trophies on a regular basis. He's not that man. He's not. You know, he's done a decent job, I suppose, in some ways in getting rid of getting a better culture around the club. I don't believe it's a winning culture. That's the problem. I believe it's a friendly culture. It's nice. It's a nice environment, but it's not a winning environment. And that's my issue with Mikel Arteta now. You know, he's worked hard to get the right type of player in, but they're not winning players, are they? And yeah, now Terry says, I put this loss down to Arteta. Well, it's down to the players as well, but he picked the team. He's prepared them, absolutely. Mark C says, flicked off Kyrgios and in the wet, Rambo just doesn't get a clean glove on it. Well, he went with the wrong arm, didn't he? And it was deflected, I suppose, but he's flapped his arm that way. You've got to go that way, haven't you, to get it out of the goal. But anyway, I mean, it's easy for us to say. We're not goalkeepers, are we? But I don't know. I didn't think that was great goalkeeping, actually. Yes, it did get a deflection in front of him, which caught him off guard a little bit. But anyway, Regenda says, which manager is what? Sorry, I've lost. Was there a comment I missed before? Off-road says, and this result will affect the confidence of the squad. It does every single season. Unlikely to beat Newcastle now. I mean, Newcastle got a lot of injuries at the minute. That's the one thing in our favour. And obviously, we're going to start a much stronger team on Saturday. But yeah, sometimes defeats in cups have cost us before. You're right. You know, we've lost a League Cup tie and gone on a bad run. You know, we've lost a group game in the Champions League before and gone on a bad run. But this season, to be fair, we lost against Lons, and then we bounced back, didn't we, the weekend after that and won our game. So I don't know. Let's see what happens on Saturday. But this has been by far the worst performance that we've produced since the end of last season. Probably since that Brighton game at home or Nottingham Forest away. One of those two games was poor. This is poor. And unfortunately, with this, you don't get a second chance. It's a cup game. And with cup games, that's it, isn't it? Anyway, what's happened here? There's looks like there's an injury to, is it Jared Bowen? So the trainers are coming on. Is it a head injury? Oh, he's got blood just above his eye. That's why he's having to get sorted out. Obviously, you can't have blood dripping out of you running around the pitch. So he's having to get that looked at. And we've played 63 minutes. And Martinelli, why are you bringing Martinelli on, mate? Why are you bringing Martinelli on when we're 3-0 down? Why are you doing it? And Saka, why is he bringing Martinelli and Saka on? Are you mad? Saka gets injured every single game. Did you honestly think that these two are going to help us come back from 3-0 down in this game? What an absolute clown. You don't do that, mate. Don't bring them on. What are you doing? The game's dead. This game's done. You know, it's done because you picked the wrong team in the first place, but it's done. Don't try and think you can get yourself out of jail now. Yes, we did come back from 3-0 down at West Ham a couple of years ago, but that ain't happening tonight. Even if you bring Saka and Martinelli on with Rice already on, that's just not happening. Mark says Martinelli coming. Why is he coming on? What for? What is the point? Trossard needs minutes. Keep Trossard on the pitch. Havertz needs to try and find some confidence from somewhere. Keep him on the pitch. The game's done. Just get some of these players more minutes, more time on the pitch. And he's bringing on Martinelli and Saka. You guarantee it's going to be Trossard and Havertz to go off, which isn't going to do either of them any good, is it, when they need minutes on the pitch? This is terrible management. It's terrible, 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 terrible. Paul says, why is it a club that is owned by Yanks rarely wins trophies? Well, yeah, I mean, Liverpool still got their American owners. Or not, I don't know if they've still got them, have they? Anyway, also got a corner. Maybe if we get a goal back here from this corner, who knows? Maybe that 3-0 down comeback will happen as it did a couple of years ago, didn't it? That corner comes in, there's a 6-yard box. Fabianski punches it clear. You have to say we don't look like scoring one, do we? Let alone 3. Anyway, Trossard on this near side. Mark C says, I think Reece has played. Okay, now Reece has done well. In the first half, he was good. He's not really had the ball much in the second half, has he? He's just not been as influential. We've got a corner now on this near side. Fabio Vieira is still on, by the way, although he might be going off now, but I don't imagine he will be. Martinelli's coming on, and it is Trossard going off. Why are you taking Trossard off? Trossard needs the minutes. Absolutely stupid, man. This is just stupid. And Saka's coming on. It is Havertz going off by the look of it. Oh, it's Reece Nelson. He's taking Reece Nelson off. Oh, man, he's an idiot, isn't he? Well played, Trossard. You did all right tonight. Reece Nelson, you're our best player, mate. You deserve to be playing a full game tonight, Reece Nelson. You do. Absolute joke of a manager. A joke of a manager. You do not do that. What is the point? Them two need minutes on the pitch. Reece Nelson was playing okay. Leave him on. Leave Trossard on. You don't need to make these changes. Leave them on the pitch. Get them minutes in them. Anyway, the corner comes into the near post. West Ham deal with it. And then the clearance is completed. And there's no West Ham player in our half. So Declan Rice has got all day to get this ball and pick a pass out to that far side. Rajendra says, you're asking for Arteta out. So which manager is good enough for you? Well, I mean, it's not our choice to make, is it? We're Arsenal. We can pick any manager we want, pretty much. I would say, apart from Pep and Klopp, anyone else. I'd have the Brighton manager. I'd have him. I like the style of football he plays. I'll take Eddie Howe, actually. Look how much he's improved some very, very average Newcastle players. Got him in the Champions League. I'll take him. But it's not our choice, is it? It was the same when Emery was here. A lot of Arsenal fans wanted Emery to go. Did we know who we wanted him to replace? Not really. Just it's not working. They're not the right man, and that's just the way it is, isn't it? It's been the same throughout years at Arsenal. I say they're not going to get rid of Arteta now. We're unbeaten in the league. Of course we're not. But these decisions tonight just underline the fact that he isn't going to be the man to take us to that next level. He's not. He's took us to where we are now. He's got us back in the Champions League, even though he took us out of Europe completely. But he's not the man to take us well. I think that's obvious now. But obviously his job's safe because we're unbeaten in the league. Of course he's safe. If we don't win anything this season, though, with the money he spent, the time he's had, especially if we didn't make top 4, I mean, we should make top 4, obviously, but who knows? You can quite clearly see here the squad. I'm not necessarily saying the squad isn't good enough. What I'm saying is the squad aren't playing. Some of these squad players don't play enough football. And then when they do come on in a game like this and play, they don't play particularly well because they're a little bit rusty in terms of competitive football. He takes them off when the game's done. He takes them off. Just these are decisions that aren't sensible. They're not clear and obvious decisions, are they, that you need to make? If you're, do you think Pep Guardiola would do this? Do you think Klopp would do this? No. At 3-0, he realises the game's done. You wouldn't bring on your best players when you've got big games coming up. You got a big game at the weekend away from home in the Premier League. Of course you don't. You leave your players on, or you maybe bring some of your other squad players on to give them minutes. You don't bring on your two best players, one to risk them getting injured, and two to take off two players that need time on the pitch. You don't do it. It's just crazy. Mark C says, we're 100% focused on possessions. We seem to be, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the issues right now. Before Arteta came as manager of Arsenal, long before that, I've never liked the Pep Guardiola style of football. I never liked it at Barcelona. I didn't like it at Bayern Munich, and I never liked it at Man City. And I don't like it at Man City now. This pass, sideways, backwards, sideways, and then one or two passes at the other end, and you create a chance eventually. I don't enjoy that style of football. I never enjoyed it before. And what's happened is Arsenal now play a style of football I don't particularly enjoy watching. It's not the style. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's not about whether it's good or bad. Obviously, we win a lot of games, and whatever. We don't have the character or the bottle to take things over the line to win trophies. But I don't enjoy the style of football that we play. I just don't enjoy it. It's not my style of football I like. And I look at other teams in the Premier League, and yes, it's the modern way of it, isn't it? Playing out from the back and whatnot, and possession, all that kind of stuff, right? And a lot of teams play like that, they do. But some teams still play exciting football at the same time. Look to get the ball forward quickly. I say Newcastle, when they've got the wind in their sails, they're really exciting to watch, aren't they? Brighton, when they're playing well, they're getting the ball forward. And I like to see that type of football. That's what I like to see. I don't like to see this possession sideways, backwards, boring. They showed a bit of I watched a little bit at the end of the Manchester derby on Sunday. I think Man City were 3-0 up or 2-0 up at the time. I can't remember now. I only watched about the last 20 minutes or so. I can't remember now. And the game was obviously won because they were 3-0 up. And all they did was just keep the ball. It's just boring. And yes, it's managing the game. I understand that and whatever. But when you're 3-0 up, you've won the game. Try and do something a little bit different that you can't do when it's 0-0, when the pressure's on you. And we do the same. It's just boring to watch. It really is. And I've become very disillusioned with it, if I'm totally honest. Very, very disillusioned with it. Off-road says that Havertz still not gone off. Arteta is going to die on that hill. Well, I mean, it's not so much that. I think Havertz is another one. I wouldn't have took Havertz off, not because he's not because he's playing well, but because, again, I think he needs time on the pitch. Trossard needs time on the pitch. Reece Nelson needs time on the pitch. Don't take them players off. If you're going to take players off, take other players off. Take Gabriel off. He's played a lot of football. He could do it. The rest. Ben White, take Ben White off. We've got players on the bench that can come on. We're 3-0 down. It doesn't matter, does it? Don't try and pretend I want to try and get back in this game by bringing Saka on. Do you know what I mean? And Martinelli on. No, the game's dead. We've got Eddie and Nketiah up front, by the way. Still. Mark C says no third striker restricts our options when making attacking. It does, absolutely. It makes it. It does, yeah. But we don't need to make attacking changes. We're not going to get back in this game, are we? We're 3-0 down with 20 minutes to play. I mean, it's just like ridiculous. The general says that if we qualify from Europe group, well, we should qualify. It's probably one of the weakest groups in the Champions League, so we should definitely qualify. But so what? Are we going to win the Champions League? No, we're not. So qualifying out of the group. If I'm totally honest, deep down inside of me, I would rather finish third in the group, go into the Europa League because we'd have a chance of winning that. I wish we'd gone and tried and won it last season, because I felt, obviously, last season we all knew we were going to be in the Champions League this season. When we got to February, March time, when the Europa League knockout game come around, I wanted to try and win that because I felt as though we're getting the Champions League. We got no chance of winning that for a few years. Let's try and win a European trophy. I wanted us to go for it, and we didn't. So I actually wouldn't necessarily be overly disappointed if we come third in our group and drops in the Europa League, because I think we could win that. We're not going to win the Champions League. Absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. Then says you're complaining that we're not winning, but Guardiola has won in all three leagues he has played. Yes, exactly. And that's fair enough. And I suppose you can, when George Graham was manager at Arsenal, I didn't always enjoy the football that we played. In fact, it was quite, especially towards the end, it was really boring, wasn't it? But we were winning trophies, and you can almost suffer being bored in a lot of games and not enjoying it if ultimately at the end of the season you're winning big games, you're winning cup finals, you're winning league titles, whatever it is, you can take it, can't you? So I'm quite happy. So Mark C says Pep has had the benefit of managing clubs with huge transfer funds. Well, he has, but you've got to be able to mould a team with the money, haven't you? Vagenda says I'm complaining that Arsenal spent too much. No, what I'm saying is we've spent more money than should be necessary to win some trophies. We spent enough money to be winning trophies. If we don't win trophies and we spent the money we spent, that's a failure. That's the fact of the matter, isn't it? That's what it's about. You need to spend money to compete these days. That's the way the Premier League is. Good and bad, however you feel about it. Personally, I don't like that. But you've got to do it. If we don't spend money on players, we're not going to compete, are we? Because all the other teams are going to do it. Newcastle now, the money they've got, it's another one added onto the list, aren't they? So now we spent the money, we've got to show something for it. We can't just keep plodding along, just finishing top four. When we were finishing top four every year under Wenger, the reason for that was we could accept that. Well, I could accept it because we wasn't spending money. We didn't have money to spend. We'd moved stadium. We were selling all our best players. We were trying to raise funds, and we were getting by, and we were still getting top four, and that was acceptable. Now, with the money that we've spent, just top four isn't enough now. In different circumstances, it's not enough now. With the money we've spent, we need to be winning trophies. And if this manager isn't capable of doing it, ta-da, we'll get someone in who can have a better go at it. That's what I'm saying. Terry says, so has Arteta spent more than Pep? No, well, he hasn't yet, but he's getting that way, isn't he? I don't think he spent more money than Pep. What I'm saying is with the money he has spent, which is like 500 million or whatever it is since he's been manager, that's enough money to have built a team that can win trophies. That's what I'm saying. So he's got to start winning trophies now because he spent that money. That's the way it is. You can't. Redemption says, so Arsenal are bored. Well, I think our style of football isn't what I enjoy. Everyone's got opinions of stuff. Some people might enjoy this football. I don't. I never enjoyed it before we started playing it, and it hasn't changed now we do play. In fact, it's made it worse because it's my team, and I want to see my team play more exciting football. I want to see us. Liverpool. I love the way Liverpool play, and I want to see my team play like that. We used to, didn't we? Maybe we were spoiled under Arsene Wenger with that fantastic football that we played, and for so many years, and even before that, the trophies that we won under George in the early days was great football, wasn't it? And we've all experienced that, and it's difficult now to watch this type of football now. I personally find it difficult to watch. If you win, you accept it, fair enough. And if we start winning trophies, you say fair enough, but we're not doing that, are we? And that makes it even more frustrating for that reason. Mark C says, not winning the Europa last year was criminal. It was, at least not making a better go of it. It's almost like even the fans were saying, oh, no, let's get knocked out of Europa League. We're going to win the Premier League. Well, no, because we might have been top of the league, but I never felt we would win the Premier League. You've got to try and win every single trophy that you can. Don't throw away any trophy because it's just, you can't afford to do it. We're not good enough. Man City can pick and choose. I mean, Man City won them all last year. Man City can pick and choose what they want to go for if they want to. They can say, "Oh, let's forget the League Cup this year because we want to win." Maybe last year that's what they did. We want to win the European Champions League, and they did because they can do that. We're not at that level yet. We can't pick and choose because otherwise, what happens is we end up winning nothing again. That's what happens. It's happened year after year. We can't do that. We just have to try and win, go as far as we can in every single competition, and unless we start taking these competitions more seriously, we're never going to win much, are we? Unfortunately. Rajendra says West Ham are always entertaining, so will that do for you? I would rather watch West Ham. I mean, West Ham have won more trophies than us in the last couple of years as well, playing good, entertaining football. So yeah, of course it'll do. If we'd won the Europa League last season, playing the football that we do, I'd accept it. Of course, we've won a trophy. If we'd won the Premier League last season, brilliant. I wouldn't mind that I'm not enjoying the football because it's proving successful. But when you're not winning anything and playing crap football or boring football, should I say? I find it boring. Some people don't, and that's fair enough. Then it's it's not nice, is it? When you're not winning trophies and you've got to watch football you don't enjoy. It's not an ideal scenario. And West Ham won a European trophy last year. I'll take that all day long. I would take it all day long. whatever European trophy it is. Terry says there's 65 million on Havertz. That's the type of money and the players he's wasting on. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. That's a fair point, isn't it? We're spending money, and look at Pepe as well before. A shot comes in there out of the far post. That was Eddie Nketiah there, showing his real quality with a missed kick inside the penalty area. Terry says, where is Arteta's passion gone? Finding out with 3-0 down, he's nowhere to be seen. Yeah, because he can't deal with this kind of stuff. He can't deal with this type of performance. He just can't. Everything has to be perfect for Mikel Arteta to be able to cope. If it's not, he doesn't know what to do. You can see him there. Look, he's walking up and down, looking down at the floor. He doesn't know what to do. So he's going to bring Martin Odegaard on now as well. That's what he's going to do. Eddie Nketiah is going off. Yeah, mate, you want to get off, mate. You're just not good enough when it matters. Regenda says they must be playing very good teams, which are better than the teams in the Champions League. Who? West Ham. They won the trophy they were in. They won the trophy there. We were in the Europa. You were in the Europa League. That's not much worse than the Conference League. We went out of that really early. So we've got no right to complain about West Ham's trophy that they won. I was pleased for them actually. To win a European trophy takes it's a big effort. It's difficult to do. The fact we've only won 2 in our whole history, and West Ham had just won 1 last season. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to dismiss their European trophy. It was a brilliant effort from them. Really, really impressive. And that's fair play to them. And that's what I want to see us do. Win trophies like that. Any trophy will do. Mark C says the lack of quality first striker is a killer. Yeah, it is. I mean, we don't even have a first and second striker, do we? We've got Jesus who don't score enough goals, or we've got Eddie. That's it. We don't. Oh, he's nearly 4-0 at West Ham and he shot from distance. Was that Kudos again? He's decent, isn't he? Anyway, Paul says Liverpool, Arsenal, Man U all going out. Are they? Liverpool losing? Are they? I thought they were winning 1-0. Anyway, Alfred says I genuinely think Arteta doesn't want this trophy. He's not bothered by it. Well, then if he doesn't want this one, he's going to struggle winning the others, isn't he? So, that's on his head, isn't it? West Ham are making another change now. James Ward-Prowse is coming on, and it looks like it's Saeed Benrahma going off at a decent enough game, didn't he? The former Brentford man. And James Ward-Prowse is a player I really rate, actually. He's not just about free kicks, is he? I think he's a good player. He is a good player. And he's coming on now. He should be in the England squad, shouldn't he? Let's be honest. He really should be. Regenda says then, so the FA Cup. The FA Cup will do. I said that. The FA Cup with the Carabao Cup, the 2 trophies we can win. So let's win one of them, or both of them. It's only going to be one now, isn't it? It's just going to be the FA Cup. Let's see what team we pick in that, shall we, when that comes around in January. My guess is it's going to be similar to this. West Ham. Again, it was Arsenal header at the near post from that corner, actually. West Ham looking for a 4th goal. Alfo says a worthless cup. It isn't worthless, mate. It's not worthless. Not when you haven't won it for 20, 30, or 30 years. It's not worthless. Did Man City think it was? Did Pep think it was worthless when he won it? 4 or 5 years in a row? No. Did Mourinho think it was worthless when he won it 2 or 3 years in a row? No. It's a trophy. I say you beggars can't be choosers. We're not winning. It's not like we're winning loads of other things, is it? If you're winning the league, if you're winning the Champions League, if you're winning trophies on a regular basis, yeah, bin this off. Don't worry about it. But we're not. We can't afford to do that. We just can't afford to do that. So he says, that's it. Give Eddie a rest. Yeah, give him a rest permanently. Anyway, Saka now, pointless him coming on. Martin Odegaard, pointless him coming on. Declan Rice. I wouldn't say it's pointless him coming on because I like Declan Rice. And it's nice to see him back playing against his old club. But it was pointless him coming on. Well, to be fair, he come on at 1-0 down. So maybe you're thinking, or was it 2-0 down when Rice come on? Can't remember. But anyway, yeah, I think it might have been 2-0 down. But at least we were sort of still in it slightly at that point. So I've just seen one of my mates actually in the Arsenal. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Anyway, but yeah, let's see what happens at the end of this game. If anything, West Ham look more likely to get a 4th goal, don't they? Kudos again. He's a live one, isn't he? I've not really seen too much of him before. I've seen him a couple of times. He scored a goal recently against Newcastle, didn't he? I've seen 1 or 2 bits of him. He's a real live one, isn't he? I never knew too much about him before this season. He's obviously just joined West Ham, isn't he? He looks a really good player. He really does. Anyway, we're into the last 7 minutes. We just want this game over now, don't we, really? I mean, I wanted it as soon as the third goal went in, with 25 minutes to go, we knew it was over. Just blow the whistle, let's get it over and done with. Not been particularly good, has it? And apart from Reece Nelson, who I thought played pretty well, no one else has covered themselves in glory tonight, have they? And even the regular players that started this game haven't been great, have they? You know, Zinchenko again, terrible. I mean, Ben White's been okay. He got the own goal, but it was a bit unfortunate. He's been okay, I suppose. But none of them have been great, have they? Offroad says that the FA Cup is our trophy. They should rename it. Well, it's called the Emirates FA Cup, and the Emirates sponsor us, so it almost is the Arsenal FA Cup already, isn't it? Yeah, it has. You know, all the teams seem to have a trophy that they've won the most. I mean, Man United is obviously the Premier League. Liverpool's is the European Cup Champions League, isn't it? Obviously, Arsenal's is the FA Cup. What's Tottenham's one? Do we know what is it? The Audi Cup? Is that their competition? Isn't it? That's what it is for them, isn't it? But everyone seems to have a cup that they tend to do well in. It's a shame, as is the FA Cup and not the Premier League. I'd love us to have won a lot more Premier Leagues, but that's the way it goes. I don't think we're going to win any more for a while, personally. Well, we've still got this set up at the club. So it's too nice, isn't it? It's too nice, and yeah, it's not a winning mentality. We haven't got enough players that have got that. Declan Rice is a step in the right direction. Absolutely, he's definitely a winner. But there's not too many of them, is there, in this group? So they're just too nice. We're buying too many players from Brighton. I think that kind of sums it up, really. Anyway, Ben White, one of those players, puts a cross in towards the far post. Arsenal close to I say close to a consolation. No Arsenal player bothered to attack it, and Kufal hooked it away. It's a decent ball, though, from Ben White. And all the Arsenal players were standing there, hands on their hips, watching it, thinking, he's going to put a ball into the box. I think I'll just watch this. West Ham clear that one away as well. We're into the last 4.5 minutes. There'll be a bit of stoppage time, I would have thought, for the goals and the substitutions. But again, no VAR means there's not a lot of stoppages, which is better. I prefer it. Anyway, Arsenal coming forward again. Again, we've had a lot of possession in the last 15, 20 minutes. Not done nothing with it. Just typical Arteta ball. Boring. Saka there trying to get him behind. West Ham scooped it back. It's going to be a corner, but we know how crap our corners are. So it doesn't really matter, does it? I think it was Emerson put that one out for a corner. And you'll score from a corner now when it doesn't matter with 4 minutes to go and you're 3-0 down. Just because I said how rubbish our corners are, you probably will score now. Anyway, here's going to be Gabriel Martinelli with it over on that far side. It's a curl one in towards the 6-yard box. West Ham win that header. They're quite good at defending set piece. They've got a lot of height in, haven't they? Good players in the air. Kufal, Souček. Yeah, the ball's back out again to Martinelli over on that far side. He's faced with Kufal, actually. He scored a good goal in this game once, didn't he, on this ground in the Premier League a while back. We're coming forward again now with Saka on this near side. Touches it off to Martin Ødegaard. Is he going to try a shot from distance? He does try a shot from distance, and Fabianski saves it. And he would love a clean sheet, wouldn't he, against his former team, Lucas Fabianski. And it's about the closest we've come in the second half. Is that our only shot on target this second half? That one there from Martin Ødegaard with 3 minutes to play. I think it might well be. It was a decent enough save. It was quite close to the keeper, wasn't it? You'd be disappointed to let that in, wouldn't you, if you're a goalkeeper? And he did quite well there, Fabianski. He's not had a lot to do, has he? That one save in the first half, and there's that one there, and that's pretty much about it, really, on a really, really poor Arsenal performance. West Ham are coming forward again. They're looking for another goal. And it's with that lively Kudos again over on that far side. He's probably been West Ham's best player, actually. I've enjoyed watching him. He's a lot of fun, isn't he? He's fast, he's quick, and he scored a really good goal as well. West Ham are offside over on that far side. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. We are into the last 2 minutes now. West Ham are making another substitution. And it is going to be, hang on, I've got my team sheet here. In fact, Kudos is going off now. What a great game he had. I say he was a good player. And it's Kira coming on, number 24 for West Ham. He is coming on for these final few minutes. And Kudos is getting a good round of applause from the West Ham fans, and rightly so, because he's played well and he got a good goal as well, didn't he? And he's probably going to get player of the match, you would imagine. Off-road says he clearly has no idea at all about confidence psychology. No, absolutely not. You're absolutely right. He doesn't. Anyway, Ben White's now in possession, plays the ball up this near side to Bukayo Saka. What you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of the Arteta fans on Twitter saying, well, the League Cup doesn't matter. We're still unbeaten in the league. We're still in the Champions League. That's what's going to happen. But what they don't realise is by not playing these players enough, some of them, this is why we play badly when they all play, because they're not used to playing. They need more games, they need more minutes, and he took them off. Just madness. Phil's a Saturday, my friend, good to see you. Dismal. That's a good word, dismal. That's my word of the night, actually. I think we had Shocker earlier, but dismal's actually topped that. Dismal is the best way to describe this. It has been dismal. And yeah, it's been absolutely terrible. You know, West Ham are coming forward again, maybe trying to get a fourth goal, which would rub salt into the wounds, wouldn't it, to be honest? But as I say, this game's been finished in terms of a result for a very, very long time. We're into the last minute of the 90. I'm expecting maybe 4 minutes at the most. There's a free kick to West Ham because Souček has just gone down and he's in no hurry to get back up again, is he? As West Ham are on the brink of qualifying for the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. I'll actually make them one of the favourites to go a long way. 5 minutes of stoppage time we're going to have. 5 minutes. We've only got 5 more minutes to suffer of this game and our Carabao Cup run is over. Anyway, Arsenal are in possession on this near side with Ben White. And that's with Martin Ødegaard, and we're just going backwards and backwards, which is good to see. Now Martin Ødegaard brings it forward for Arsenal. That's a good pass forward. Finds Tomiyasu. Plays out to that far side to Martinelli. I still can't get my head around why he's brought Martinelli and Saka on and Ødegaard. Don't understand it when you're 3-0 down. Just crackers, man. Terry says there, can't wait to hear Arteta's BS. Yeah, by the way, I can't wait. I'm probably not going to listen to it if I'm honest, because I'm sick of it. It's the same thing all the time. 5 minutes. We played one of the 5 minutes, so there's 4 minutes to play of stoppage time at the end of this game. Arsenal just passing the ball sideways. West Ham know they've won. They're not even bothered. West Ham are just sitting back, keeping a good shape. That ball into the box, headed away. Mark C says he'll focus on no VAR. Well, he might do, but it's clutching at straws. Clutching at straws. We've not deserved anything from this game. This second half has been absolutely dreadful. Just terrible. Off-road says there, he won't get asked any difficult questions. Those journalists get thrown out. Yeah, you're probably right. He definitely won't. Cornish Gunner says, we were linked with Kudos last summer, I think. Looks like we missed out on one there. Were we? Oh, yes. Actually, you might be right. I mean, I've never really heard of him, but he's a great player, isn't he? He's got everything, hasn't he? He's fast. He can dribble. He can obviously score a great goal. He worked hard. He gave us a lot of problems, actually. Mark C says, because their first goal shouldn't have stood. Well, no, maybe it shouldn't have done. Or, you know, we don't know whether VR would have disallowed it, even if they did. This second half has been dreadful, regardless of that, hasn't it? There's no, that goal being not disallowed doesn't excuse the second half performance. We came out for the second half flat, and that's why we've lost this game. Not because of that goal. Ben White now on this near side are we going to get a consolation at the very end of stoppage time? Be just typical if we did, wouldn't it? When we've played absolutely terrible, we'll score a goal that's be one of the most meaningless goals ever in the history of football. Terry says, come on, West Ham, score one more goal for us. We don't want them to score another one, do we? I mean, 3-0 is bad enough. What's our heaviest defeat under Mikel Arteta, actually? Not quite sure. Anyway, the cross comes in from that far side by Tomiyasu, but there's no Arsenal player even bothered now to get on the end of anything. We've got a throw. The Arsenal end's empty. West Ham fans are staying a little bit later. Cornish Gunner says 20 minutes injury time to look for. You know, there's only 5 and we've played 3 of them, so we're nearly done. Off-roads away. See you later, mate. See you, at the weekend. Maybe anyone else got a free kick on the edge of the box? Maybe we will get that pointless goal. Phil says sets us up nicely to get mauled in Newcastle. Yeah, I kind of feel that now. I felt before the game that we'd probably be all right because Newcastle got a lot of injuries, but I'm not so sure now. Mark C says can't be this slack on Saturday. Absolutely not. If we play like this on Sunday, they'll do a PSG on us, won't they? If we're like this, absolutely we can't afford to be. And we've got a free kick on the edge of the box now. We're into the last minute of stoppage time. Are Arsenal about to score the most pointless goal in football history? If you can think of a more pointless goal than what this would be if Martin Odegaard scores this free kick, please let me know, because I cannot think of one that would be more pointless than this goal if it goes in. The last minute of stoppage time, we're 3-0 down in the Carabao Cup, and Martin Odegaard is going to take this free kick. Let's see if we do. That would be just typical, wouldn't it? Let's see what happens to this free kick. Martin Odegaard into the wall, and West Ham clear it away. So we didn't even get the pointless goal, did we? Which would have been something to at least have taken from what's been a very disappointing evening. Martin Odegaard again plays that ball in, but it's a poor ball looking for the run of Declan Rice. Cleared away by West Ham. 30 seconds left. Can't come quickly enough. Terry says Ramsdale 6 foot plus can use his hands, but went down like that's actually embarrassing. Good goal in my book. Well, the goal was given. The goalie's got to be stronger, but that's not why we've lost this game. I don't think anyone says, yes, it's a first goal. The first goal is important, but, we were in the game at half-time and then we came out and played like that. Just disgusting. We are going to score a pointless goal. We have scored a pointless goal. It is Martin Odegaard, the most pointless goal in football history, the 95th minute of a game that we're 3-0 down in. Well done, Arsenal. Well done, Mikel Arteta. Well done, Martin Odegaard. Let's give it a little cheer. So let's have it then. What has been a more pointless goal than that one ever in history of football? Can you name one? I can't. Here goes a full-time whistle. That was the last kick of the game. Oh, brilliant. Well done. Well done, Arsenal. Mark C says, goal. Yeah, indeed. We did a little goal graphic. Why not? But yeah, has there ever been a more pointless goal than that? The only player on the pitch who actually cared about that goal was probably Fabianski because he's lost his clean sheet. Other than that, no one else cares. No one else cared about that goal, literally. Goals are meant to be moments of excitement, aren't they? That one was just absolutely. We said before with a free kick, pointless. The 95th minute when you're 3-0 down, brilliant. And to me, that sums Martin Odegaard up. Mr. No Pressure. He's brilliant when there's no pressure on him. As soon as there's pressure on him, you don't see him. Anyway, Declan Rice is getting some warm handshakes from his former teammates, which is nice to see, isn't it? It's a nice moment, isn't it? Of course, the West Ham teammates are a lot happier than they might have been if we'd won. But it's nice to see, isn't it? It's a nice moment now when you see things like that. It gives you faith in humanity, doesn't it? Anyway, Declan Rice just shakes hands with his former manager, David Moyes. Terry says there, when there's Erdogan missing. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's Mr. No Pressure, isn't he? That's a typical Martin Odegaard goal when it's pointless and doesn't mean anything. We're 4-0 up, he scores a goal, didn't he? 5-0. You know what I mean? When does he ever turn up in the big games? Hardly ever. Anyway, that was a pitiful performance, wasn't it? It was embarrassing, really, in the end. The second half, that is the worst 45 minutes I've seen for a very long time from any Arsenal team under any manager. That was just embarrassing. We were still in that game. We're 1-0 down, and you're still in the game, aren't you? And to come out for the second half in a cup game, a London derby, and to produce that sort of performance in the second half that's just not good enough. It's just not acceptable. And the fact that he then decided to bring on the good players when we're 3-0 down, the better players, the main first team players, if you like, that he'd rested them because they needed a rest, and he plays them when you're 3-0 down. Absolutely stupid. Anyway, they've just switched over to this Man United Newcastle game, and it's actually 2-0 to Newcastle at Old Trafford, which is quite funny, actually, isn't it? Well, it's not actually, because we're out, and I don't actually care anymore. So he says, well, that goal gives Arteta something to hold on to. Well, he can hold on to Martin Odegaard. That's about it. Mark C says, I can't believe Vieira and Havertz played the entire match. Well, again, you see, I don't mind that for the simple fact, as I said, they're the sort of players that need minutes on the pitch. He should have kept Trossard and Nelson on as well for that same reason. You know, I thought Nelson was actually our best player, and he took him off, but when he needed minutes on the pitch. But anyway, I just think that was terrible management all round, really, from Arsenal again. Terrible performance, and yeah, not really good enough, is it, at all? And we've gone out of one of the only two competitions we realistically could have won. But yeah, I mean, I don't actually have I don't have too many problems with Vieira and Havertz playing the full game because I think they need the time. But yeah, so did Nelson and Trossard, and he took them off. And he didn't need to make them subs, did he? Phil says, I'm away to boil my head. What a terrible game. Arteta is a clown. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. It was a terrible game. The second half in particular. The first half, we actually didn't play too bad. We didn't create a lot. We didn't actually, well, I say we didn't play too bad. We had a lot of possession, sideways, as we said, which is what we do. But that second half, that was just terrible. That was just embarrassing. And it's like, wow, is that the best that we can produce? Yeah, just not good enough at all. Mark C says, oh well, fellas, roll on Saturday. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that now. After that, I mean, it can't be as bad again, obviously, but I don't know. Terry says, it's nice to see West Ham players shaking Deck's hand. I bet one of them said, I bet you wish you went to Man City now. I bet they all said that. Oh, wish they stayed at West Ham because they've got more chance of winning the Carabao Cup than we have. But anyway, I mean, what can you say about that? It was just terrible. It was a shocker, absolute shocker. And yeah, I think the issue is, well, there's not just one issue, is it? Let's be honest. One of the issues is that we said it before the game, you're bringing in these squad players and they don't play enough. So when they come on, they may be slightly lacking in that sharpness, competitive football sharpness, aren't they? Because they've not played enough. So that's one issue. That's a big issue. And the reason for that is, as I said before, Mikel Arteta is keeping the same 11 players starting every game in the Premier League because he doesn't trust these other ones. This is why, but they're never going to improve and they're never going to be able to come in and do the right job needed if they're not played often enough. They're just coming for one game every 10. That's not how you manage a squad. That is not how you manage a squad. That's not how you do it. You make a couple of changes every game almost and just keep everybody fresh, rotate it round, keep everybody involved, get everybody on the pitch, get them playing competitive football. That's the way to do it. And Arteta doesn't do that. He doesn't trust the squad. He just trusts his 11, 12 players and that's it. And the rest of them only play very rarely. And you wonder why they put performances in like that. That's the reason. I don't necessarily blame the players. Some of them I don't. The ones that's been playing regular don't really have that as an excuse. The only excuse they've got is it's relationships. They're not playing week in, week out, are they? That's the problem there. You know, you've got Gabriel playing with Kyrgios as a centre back. I don't think them to have ever played together as a centre back pairing, but they may have done towards the end of last season. I can't remember if they did or not, but they've not played together very often, have they? As a pairing, so that's a new partnership there. It's going to take time to settle, isn't it? And when they get one game, we lose 3-0. So that's not going to happen again. He's not going to pick them two again, is he? Rather than thinking they need this time, let's play them again in another, maybe a group game in the Champions League. You know, Trossard played and Nelson played in those two wide areas. What are we desperate for? We're desperate for someone to come in and be able to take Bukayo Saka's place because Bukayo Saka can't play every single minute of every single game. One, because he gets injured if he's going to do that. And two, you can't do that to any player. No player can do that. You need a player to come in that can do a job. Reece Nelson showed tonight he's got that in him and he takes him off early in the second half as well. You know, madness. Absolute madness. And yes, he kept Havertz on, he kept Vieira on. They were two of our worst players tonight by a mile, but they need the minutes. So I don't really mind them. When it's 3-0 down, keep them on. Keep Trossard on. You know, Trossard's been in and out of the team. He needs a run. Keep him on. Don't make the subject. He didn't need to make it. What was the point of bringing them on? Yes, Odegaard's got a goal at the end. As I say, the most pointless goal ever scored in football history. We didn't need to do that, did we? We just didn't need to do it. Anyway, we're out of the Carabao Cup. and we're out by quite some margin in the end. It finished West Ham 3, Arsenal 1. Could have been a lot more in the end. Terry says, our second string have all been signed or extended contracts by Arteta, so we can't blame anyone else if he doesn't trust them. Well, yeah, I don't know if they all have, have they? Some of them haven't, have they? I mean, they've all been pretty much all been brought in by Mikel Arteta. So, yeah. But he doesn't trust them, does he? Otherwise, they'd get more minutes in the Premier League, and they don't. They don't play, do they? Kyrgios hardly plays. Very rarely. Obviously, Ramsdale's not going to play again, is he? Jorginho don't play much. Vieira doesn't play much. Nelson hardly plays. Trossard's hardly playing. Obviously, ESR's injured tonight, they said. He hardly plays. Look at the other players on the bench who didn't get on, as well. I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me, none of this. And yes, it's easy to say, well, it's only because we've just lost 3-1. Yes, we've lost 3-1, and it's very, very disappointing. But this isn't just about this game, is it? These are issues that's been ongoing for some time now. And under this manager, it's the same stuff all the time. It really is. And I don't know. I don't know. Terry's, we just had that one. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't trust them. He didn't trust them last season, the squad players, and he's not trusting them again this season, is he? Enough. They're not playing enough minutes. And then we wonder why they produce performances like that when they do come in. But anyway, we are out of the Carabao Cup in the fourth round. We got one round further than last year. Last year we went out at the first hurdle, didn't we, when we played Brighton? And that was that. So we're out of that. So there's no point worrying about the draw, which is happening after this Man United Newcastle game. It is 2-0 to Newcastle currently early in the second half of there. We'll run through the other scores, shall we? Why not? Let's do that. So the scores tonight, then we know the Arsenal score. Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 2. These are all still playing, by the way. They're in the closing stages. It's Gakpo and Nunez for Liverpool. It was Kluivert scoring for Bournemouth, made it 1-1 briefly. Chelsea 2, Blackburn 0. Badiashile and Sterling in the last minute there. Everton 2, Burnley 0. Tarkowski and Onana. Fulham winning 3-1 at Ipswich. Wilson, Carvalho and Kearney, and Baggett's got one for Ipswich. And Newcastle are 2-0 up at Man United. Almiron and Hall with their goals. As to say, that's early in the second half, that one. All the others are in the last few minutes. But we don't really care, do we? Because we are out. And that is the only thing that we're bothered about. Terry says, we'll end up spending more money, win nothing, and the cycle continues until Arteta's gone. Probably. Probably. I can't see us winning too much under this man. I've said this for a while. And I'm not saying he's a bad manager. What I'm saying is he's only going to be able to take us so far. And in a way, I know I mentioned Eddie Howe before. Eddie Howe's done a fantastic job at Newcastle, improving some really, really poor players and turning them into decent players who can get into the top 4. But again, I think Eddie Howe is a manager at Newcastle that can only take them so far. If they want to get to the next level and start winning Premier League, start competing in the Champions League on a consistent basis, going far into that competition, they'll need a better manager. And Arsenal exactly the same. Arteta's taken us as far as he can take us, I believe. And, this season isn't going to be any better than last season. Let's not think it will be, because it won't be. And that's as far as we can get with him. If we want to progress, we need another manager to take us to that next level. And that happens, doesn't it, sometimes, there's a lot of managers out there that are in that, what I consider to be the second tier, if you like. And Arteta's one of them, I think. And that's where we are, and unless we make that change at some point, we're not going to win the trophies that we all want to see us winning. And that's the way it is. And we all need to understand and accept that, and then it's fine. And then we can just enjoy it for what it is, which is better than it was 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, of course it is. We're doing much better, aren't we? We're back in the Champions League. We've not been for years. We came second in the Premier League last year. We were top of the table for so long. But anyway, there you go. Mark C says, later taps here through thick and thin. Yeah, mate, we all are, aren't we? This is the problem, isn't it? It's not like, it's not like a job, or it's not like a relationship where you can change if you want to later on. Your football club, it's stuck with you forever. regardless of, you know, sometimes it gives you great joy and you love it and there's nothing better. And other times it's frustrating and it's hurtful and it's annoying. And that's the way it is, isn't it? But are we still going to be in the next game? Of course we are, because we're lumbered with it, aren't we? Sometimes that's what it feels like. And, you know, that's where we are at this moment in time, aren't we? And Newcastle just got a third goal. That's a really good goal, actually. I don't know who scored it. It was a great goal. Actually, no, it is. You know who just scored that goal at Old Trafford? Joe Willock. Joe Willock just scored for Newcastle. A great goal, actually. Well done, Joe. Obviously, he's not good enough to play for Arsenal. Couldn't get in our team. But anyway, he's just scored a great goal there for Newcastle. It's 3-0 there through as well. Mark says, keep your chin. Oh, I will, mate. Don't worry. I'll be fine on Saturday. It's just you just get frustrated, don't you? That's all it is. It's just frustration, mate. You know what it's like. We all go through that, don't we? That's what it's about, isn't it? You know, it's no good sitting here and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm happy because we keep losing, we keep throwing away trophies. I'm really happy." No, of course not. We're all annoyed and upset, aren't we? Because that's how much it means to us. You know, and that's what it is. Look at this goal from Joe Willock, by the way. That's a great goal. He's gone past about 3 chances and put it in the bottom corner. It's a really good goal. Wow, I mean, the defending's terrible, but that's a good finish, actually, from Joe Willock. And Newcastle are going through to the quarter-final, where they won't be playing Arsenal because we've been knocked out. That's a great goal, that. Well, Terry says, at least we have the Gooner girls. We do, and that's a big game on Sunday for them as well, isn't it? So we'll see. Anyway, that's it for tonight then. I think we've pretty much had enough now, aren't we? Newcastle are safely through, so we don't have to watch the rest of this. Arsenal are safely out, I suppose. And that's that. Don't forget, I'm back on Friday. We've got the guys with us. We've got the Arsenal women's show, of course. But yeah, we didn't have a show last week because England were playing. But we're back on Friday. We're going to look back on the Bristol City game, last WSL game, which we won. Not as convincingly as we expected, but we got the 3 points. And of course, looking ahead to the big game on Sunday. What a big game it is. The leaders, Manchester City, are visiting Meadow Park. Our first game at Meadow Park of the season. It's November. Incredible. So we'll be doing that on Friday, 7:30. So please join us for that because that is going to be a fantastic show. I'm not sure what's happening Saturday yet still. I'm still hopeful of getting a ticket for Newcastle. And yeah, I'm hoping to be there in some form or other. If I can't get a ticket for the game, I might do what we did last season, go up there, soak up some pre-match atmosphere, speak to a few people, and then maybe watch it in a pub. That might be the plan. I'll do a vlog potentially, or if I can't be bothered, I might just do a watch along instead, stay at home. It's just frustrating. It's up the road to me. I live in Newcastle. I don't know if you guys know. I live in Newcastle now. Obviously, it's my local club. It's only 15 minutes on the metro from my house to the stadium. So when Arsenal are there, I'd normally go. Even normally I'd get a ticket, but it's a lot harder these days. So yeah, I'll probably do that actually. If I'm honest, I will probably go up there to the ground and just never know. I might manage to get a ticket outside. Who knows? But if not, I'll probably watch it in the pub and do a vlog as I did last year. So yeah, join me for that. Anyway, don't forget Friday night for the Arsenal women's show, which is always a good show, isn't it? With the guys, it's going to be fun. So we look forward to that. And I say Sunday, I'll definitely be here for the watch along. It's early kickoff up past 12 on Sunday, isn't it? So I'll be here at 12:15 for that one. Massive, massive game. If we can beat Man City, we're right back in that title race, aren't we? So that's a massive game, isn't it? And I'm sure they'll give everything in that game. Joe Willock's just going off actually for Newcastle and scored that goal. Greg says they've been supporting Arsenal since the 60s. This keeps happening. It does, mate. It does keep happening. I mean, I'm a few years behind you in that sense. I've been since the sort of late 70s, early 80s for me. And yeah, it does keep happening. We should be used to it, shouldn't we? It doesn't make it any less painful, but yeah, it does keep happening. And we keep coming back. We're like, we're like gluttons for punishment, aren't we? But that's the burden of being a football fan, isn't it? That is the burden that there is. You know, you suffer a lot more than you don't, because even the most successful teams like Manchester United now, you know, they've been the most successful team in the Premier League history. They're really struggling, aren't they? Look at them now. They're 3-0 down at home to Newcastle. Their manager's probably going to get sacked. And their fans are going through it as well, aren't they? But they'll be back on Saturday. They'll be back next week. That's the way it goes, isn't it? You can't leave him, unfortunately, as much as sometimes you want to. You can't. You're kind of lumbered, aren't you? But we've had a lot of good times. Let's be honest. We've been fortunate when we think about it to see what we've seen, experienced what we've experienced. Some fans from a lot of clubs, most fans from most clubs will never experience half of what we have. You know, the trophies that we've seen us win, league titles, FA Cups. We've seen us win. Well, I've seen us win a European trophy. Obviously, you would have done from the 60s as well. Seen us win a couple. So we've had those great moments, haven't we? You know, beating Tottenham so many times in so many important games, semi-finals and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate. Let's put it that way. We've been fortunate, so we shouldn't really moan too much. But it just hurts, doesn't it? That's what it is. It's frustrating. So he says, Richard, it was a pleasure again, mate. Just a shame our teams. Tom said, yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were tonight, wasn't they? It was. Anyway, it's been a good show, hasn't it? I've enjoyed it with you guys. You guys in the chat always keep it real, shall we say? You know, it's always good to have you guys in. It's nice to get your opinions as well. And it seems as though we've grown our audience on this channel over the last couple of years in particular. It's really started to grow, and it seems as though what's happened is we seem to get a lot of people now that feel a similar way to what I do and what a lot of the regulars that have watched the channel do, which is good. We're attracting the right people, aren't we, to the channel generally, which is good. You know, we've got some people that have a slightly different opinion, like Rajanda, for example, and that's great. You know, everybody's welcome, whatever their opinion, but it does seem as though a lot of us seem to feel similarly about it all, really. Maybe because we're all maybe a similar age, we've grown up with the traditional Arsenal, and now we get this modern Arsenal, modern football, which, yeah. Terry says, Greg, you really are a sucker for punishment. Well, we all are, Terry, let's be honest. But keep hanging in there, mate, one day. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, we know, don't we, being Arsenal fans, that one day it will come good for us. We will be celebrating a big trophy again. We know we will, because that's what happens. We're Arsenal. We know that's going to happen, don't we? It's just how long it takes and what happens. But anyway, it's certainly not going to be a Carabao Cup this year, is it? You know, the first trophy I ever saw us win, the League Cup, back in 1987, won't be repeated this year, and we're just going to have to put that behind us. Look forward to Saturday, a really, really big game, isn't it? Away at Newcastle, very, very tough game. We've got a great record up there. We've got a great record against Newcastle, but we had a great record against West Ham. That means nothing on the pitch in 90 minutes. That's what it's about, isn't it? We're going to have to play a lot better than we did today, obviously. And yeah, we're going to have to really, really step up our game and hope it's enough. It's an intimidating atmosphere there these days, and we need to turn up and do the job. But I'm not overly confident at the minute, but hopefully by the weekend I'll be feeling a little bit better about it. But yes, that's it then tonight. It finished West Ham 3, Arsenal 1. Ben White's own goal gave West Ham a half-time lead. We didn't play too badly in the first half. Second half was just embarrassing, really. The second goal, was that the Kudos one, or was Kudos the third one? I can't remember now. Oh no, yeah, Kudos was the second goal. Good finish from him. He was a good player tonight. And it was Jared Bowen, wasn't it, with the third goal? Got a slight deflection off Kyrgios. And yeah, West Ham were 3-0 up, comfortable. And then it was substitute Mike Nerdegaard got a goal with the last kick of the game. And I say the most pointless goal ever in history that you'll ever see. Terry says, hey, Richard, the only thing I disagree with you is Havertz. I miss all those little things you spot he does. But it's not so much that. I mean, I'm just starting to feel sorry for him, really. He's not playing well, is he? He's not looking confident, and it's not nice to see, is it? And, you know, I feel sorry for him, really. And I want it to work because he's an Arsenal player. You know, you want your players to do well. And I want him to do well. I really do. And I want it to work for him, but it clearly isn't at the moment, is it? And he's starting to run out of faith that it's ever going to now. It's not like 1-2 games into the season, is it? We've played, 10, 15 games in all competitions, and he's getting worse, if anything. He's having less impact. But he does 1 or 2 good things a game. He does, you know, he does do a couple of decent things. Today he did a couple of good bits of tracking back, tackling, winning the ball back, won a lot of headers. But it's not enough, is it? For £65 million, and even not for £65 million, it's not enough for a player playing for Arsenal. They've got to do more for me. But maybe it'll come. We'll have to see. But anyway, I'm sure he's not going to start the game at Newcastle on Saturday. I'll be amazed if he does. He certainly shouldn't do, should he? Let's be honest. Anyway, that's Saturday. Join me Friday for the Arsenal Women's Show. That is going to be good at 7:30. A lot to talk about there. Of course, a massive game for the women on Sunday. So you definitely have to join us for that one, because that is going to be great. And yeah, Arsenal are out of the Carabao Cup. Very, very disappointing. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for your likes. And if you're new, please subscribe. Don't forget to check out the other channel, A Bit Rich. There's some great stuff on there, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. So get involved in that as well. Greg says, get Serena in as manager. To be honest with you, we could do worse, couldn't we? I mean, I'm not quite sure yet whether how close we are ever to have a female manager in the Premier League. I don't know how close that is. I don't think it's very close at all. And I'm not saying that these female managers, coaches aren't good, because Serena is unbelievable. She really is. But it's different managing a group of women players as it is to manage a group of men players, isn't it? That's the issue with it. You know, could Serena handle managing a men's team? I don't know. We don't know because she's not done it. Maybe she could, but you'd look at it and think, you know, just I'm not sure how that would work. So that's it. I mean, I'm sure one day it will happen. I'm sure there will be female managers in men's leagues. I'm sure it will happen at some point. I'm just not quite sure if we're at that stage yet. And there's not enough top female coaches anyway. A lot of the bigger men's teams have got male coaches. Our female teams have got men's coaches, haven't they? So, you know, until we get to a point where we've got top women's coaches managing all the top women's teams, then that might be the time we can start thinking about then if some of them could come across into the men's game. Serena would be a great candidate, wouldn't she? Because of what a great manager she is. But I don't think the sport's at that point yet. And I don't think we should rush it to get to that point. We don't need to, do we? But I'm sure it will happen in due course. And we'll see whether it'll be in Serena's time or after. I don't know. We'll have to see. Terry says, I've never hated an Arsenal player in my life, but Havertz, I detest it. It's like he's taking the pee out of my club. It's not his fault, is it? It's not his fault, because he was bought for whatever reasons. The club have bought him, Mikel Arteta's bought him. We paid a lot of money for him. That's not his fault, is it? He hasn't come. He wants it to work at Arsenal, doesn't he? Of course he does. He doesn't want to be playing crap, does he? Of course not. Do you know what I mean? He wants to be playing well, and it's not coming off for him. And I think he's trying. It's just not happening for him. And I think we need to start feeling a little bit sorry for him and get behind him and see what happens. It's not worth giving him stick all the time. That's not going to help him, is it? We want him to play better. I do. We need him to play better when he's playing, because if he plays better when he's playing, we might win the game. So, you know, I think it's kind of doesn't really work that way. Anyway, Terry says, Richard, see you soon, mate. Nightmare, free after tonight, and see you next time. All refreshed. Good night all, and come on, you Gunners and Gooner girls. Indeed, yeah, we'll be back Friday with a women's team to look at, so that's going to be a bit more fun, isn't it? I'm sure. We'll soon get this out of the way. I say Saturday we'll be back for the Newcastle game as well. So those coming up. Please join us. Thanks for watching tonight. I will see you soon. Come on, you Gunners. We're at the Carabao Cup, guys. We're out. No, anyone bothered? Only me and Terry, maybe, and Greg and Phil, a few others. Some people aren't bothered. I'm bothered. But anyway, it's done now. Till next season, the Carabao Cup is out of the window, and we'll just focus on the other three, shall we? Instead, that's all we can do, innit? So, guys, I'll see you Friday.